City Home Network's presentation of Houston Astros baseball. Your front row seat to the Astros and Rockets.
MLB opening week is presented by Vanguard. Discipline that delivers. The opening series wraps up today between the Angels and the Astros. It's a beautiful day in downtown Houston and an important game for the Astros who want to even things up in this series today. There will be a lot of eyes on this particular matchup here locally and internationally. That's right. I'm Julia Morales. Welcome in everybody to this game. And the Astros sought after pitching this offseason. We all know that. They circled a name, though, in particular that was in Japan pitching at a high level. They got their guy. They signed Tatsuya Imai this offseason, and he'll pitch in a major league game for the first time. Remember, he picked this team. He picked the Astros to help get them back into the postseason. Joe Espada, his manager, said, "I am fascinated to see how this goes. I'm like a fan today, like anyone else who can see what he's able to do on the mound today." Imai said, "I will likely have some nerves, but I'm hoping to use them to my advantage." There is a crowd around the bullpen here watching him warm up. They're very excited. A couple of guys who are going to call this game are probably excited too. Let's send you across the field into the booth. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum. How we doing, guys?
Doing really well, and we are excited, Julie. We did not have any of his spring training broadcasts on SCHN, so today's our first live look at him. I'm pretty fired up to see him.
I am fired up. The Astros have always been good internationally. Now they've moved into the Pacific Rim, signing him out of that Japanese league, and I think we're all kind of excited. A lot of the video shows a lot of enthusiasm. He's an energetic type guy on the mound, but he's also got electric stuff that we'll talk about in a little bit. But only the fourth Japanese-born player to play for the Astros.
We're going to break down his stuff pitch by pitch when we come back. You can see what he's done the last 2 years. A lot of strikeouts, the most in the Nippon Baseball League in those 2-year span.
Yeah, the ERA is impressive, but the strikeouts are what the Astros like. He has a lot of swing and miss ability with a multitude of pitches to be able to go out there. But the swing and miss is one thing, but also keeping the ball in the ballpark. That is 337 innings pitched and only 14 home runs allowed. So expect him to go out there, stay away from some barrels, and create a lot of excitement here in Daikin Park.
Tatsuya Imai in his Major League debut just minutes away. We'll break down his repertoire when we come back. upcoming week is presented by Vanguard. Discipline that delivers. The Shiner spotlight falls on Tatsuya Imai as we break down his pitches by pitch.
He's got plenty to work with. You see the four-seam slider split, changeup, the Vulcan changeup. But what's interesting is the four-seam fastball can range from 91 to 99 miles an hour, has a little bit of arm side run. The slider is probably one of the more unique sliders you're going to see because it actually might back up, and that's what we're going to have fun watching. The first split is the traditional, just between those first two fingers, creates good downward action and tumble to that pitch. And then he will go to that changeup, a little more of a circle change, get good fade on that pitch, especially with the arm action he has. And obviously the arm action creates deception between the fastball and the changeup. And another interesting pitch is that Vulcan changeup. He'll tuck that a little bit deeper in the hand and create massive action down out of the zone. But that is how Imai will rack up strikeouts in Japan. He's hoping the same thing translates here in America.
We will dive deeper into that slider as the game moves along. It's a unique pitch as Tatsuya Imai, after 8 years with the Seibu Lions, makes his major league debut just minutes away.
You're gonna like this story.
Tatsuya Imai, who signed a 3-year, $54 million deal with the Houston Astros today, makes his major league debut at Daikin Park. You can see what he did this spring over 3 starts. He also pitched in a simulated game and then started the game against AAA Sugar Land on Monday earlier this week. He is ready to go in his first start in the major leagues here at Daikin Park against the Los Angeles Angels.
First major league lineup he has to face is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Tough 2 customers at the top in Neto and Trout. Trout off to an electric start, but a lot of that because of the protection of Nolan Schanuel. Left-handed hitter in that lineup has done a very good job so far this season. In the hits that he has gotten, he's gotten a couple of home run and total 10 bases, but his OPS behind Mike Trout, 1169. Doing a great job of protecting the perennial MVP.
Oh, here we go. A lot of anticipation about this start for Tatsuya Imai. There is plenty of media in attendance today from Japan and a lot of friends and family. He's got a couple of rows filled with friends and family wearing the Tatsuya Imai Astros 45. And his first pitch in the major leagues about to be delivered. And the first pitch to Neto misses, and they throw the baseball out to save it, as Tatsuya Imai is now officially a major leaguer. Zach Neto, the first batter for Imai. 2 for 13 so far in this series with a double and a home run. As he swings through the splitter, it's 1-1. Remember, when we watch from afar, he has unique action on his pitches.
He really does. He's got several different pitches, and I think the most interesting thing, along with those pitches that he has that we showed you on the screen, 5 or 6 of them, is the fact that he adds and subtracts velocity to that to create different shapes and different movements out of those pitches too. So as a hitter, you've got a lot to deal with, and if he's on, it's going to be a challenge.
It was actually a slider on that second pitch. It popped up on our screen as a splitter, but here's the action. That's your backup slider, Blummer.
Yeah, that's the, as a hitter, you ask what's the toughest pitch to hit. It's the backup slider, because the reaction of the ball coming out of the hand, he's on the side of the ball, he pulls down, it looks like it's going to be a slider, and the rotation of the ball gives you the idea that it's going to break away from you as a right-handed hitter, but it doesn't. So it's trying to match up your brain, your hands, and where that pitch is going is going to be very tough for some of these hitters.
He walks the first batter he faces, Zach Neto, on 5 pitches, so Neto will be a leadoff base runner. How about the Astros starting defense presented by Xfinity? Christian Vasquez will be the catcher for Imai's first major league start. The infield has Carlos Correa, who is toggled between shortstop and third base, back at third base. That's because Jeremy Pena plays his second game of the series. On the right side, Isaac Paredes is at second, with Jose Altuve getting a DH day. Christian Walker at first, and your outfield is Yordan Alvarez in left, Joey Loperfido in center, and Cam Smith in right. Tatsuya Imai is going to try to do something not many Astros pitchers have in this series, and that is retire Mike Trout, who has been on base 11 times so far in the first 3 games with 5 hits and a major league best 6 walks. Imai getting ahead quickly, 0-2 on Trout.
It's a pretty nasty fastball on the outside corner.
Got to be some nerves for Imai.
Oh, yeah.
He walked that first batter, but now facing a guy who for a decade was the best player in the game and finished top 5 in MVP 9 straight years, has an 0-2 count. He freezes him on a pitch on the outside corner. Trout challenging Brennan Miller's call.
The strike call.
If Imai does not get this overturned on the ABS challenge, it will be his first major league strikeout.
Got him.
Call confirmed. Los Angeles has 1 count remaining.
So our first look at ABS powered by T-Mobile is Imai's first major league strikeout.
Well, instead of going after him with some of the off speed, he just proceeded to go out there and pump fastballs.
That's a way to start your first ever appearance against Mike Trout. Dot him up with 3 pitches for a strikeout.
Yeah, that was kind of special.
That was nice. Only the second strikeout for Trout in this series against 6 walks. Here's Nolan Shonowell. So Imai has Mike Trout in his books for his first major league strikeout. That'll be memorable. And now he's 2-0 on Shonowell. Maybe he can only throw strikes to 3-time MVPs. Struggle with Neto walking him on 5 pitches. Now he's 2-0 on Shonowell. First look at our pickoff from Tatsuya Imai as he checks Neto at first. Neto with 26 steals last year in 35 attempts. And now Imai has fallen behind his second hitter, 3-0 on Shonowell. Shonowell, normally a patient hitter at the plate, has a couple of walks already in this series, also has 2 home runs. There's a strike. Tatsuya Imai, 27 years old. He will turn 28 on May the 9th. Bumpy ball 4, so 2 walks here in the first inning.
Not big misses, though.
No, he's missing close. One thing I have noticed today, Blummer, just looking around the stadium, Sunday crowds sometimes leisurely getting to their seats, maybe by the bottom of the first or the top of the second. People are kind of engaged early with Tatsuya Imai's big league debut.
It's like somebody pulled their Ferrari out of the garage on a Sunday afternoon to go for a spin.
It's a quiet focus for this crowd early on, kind of seeing what this guy's all about.
I'm sure fans are like us, you know, pulling up some videos on YouTube and looking through some scouting reports and reading some numbers. So you're kind of curious what it looks like in person, because everything that we've seen overseas has been fantastic. And his pitch mix is unique. The action on his pitches are unique.
I promise you, after being around a few years here, the top of the first does not look this filled usually in this stadium. It's usually get there when you can on a Sunday after a night game the day before, but fans are engaged.
A lot of people
early.
hit up the early service today instead of the mid-afternoon.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Jorge Soler is the batter with a 2-1 count. Imai has thrown 16 pitches and only 6 of them for strikes so far. That one's a strike, and it's 2-2. These Angels taking a lot of pitches too, trying to see what Imai's about.
And the more pitches you take as a hitter against a new pitcher is more information you're able to work with in your next couple of at-bats.
Called third strike. Imai freezes Soler. Both of his strikeouts called third.
Now, these are basically reconnaissance missions by these Angels hitters, but that is a traditional slider that breaks. You see family and friends. As he picks up his second strikeout. That slider came in there firm.
Yoan Moncada. There have been 19 pitches so far in this game, and only one Angel has taken a swing, Zach Neto. So they are definitely trying to see Imai and learn about this Japanese right-hander. As Moncada gets down in the count quickly, 0-2, taking his first 2 pitches he sees. Well, can he strike out 3 in his first inning in the major leagues? He has Trout looking, he has Soler looking, and now he's 0-2 on Moncada.
Fans want it, you can hear it.
A little bit low, 1-2.
As a hitter, it feels like Imai is a guy that you got to see up in the zone, because all of those secondary pitches we showed you are moving down out of the zone.
It's interesting you say that, because one of the things he did say was that on average major league hitters are going to be slightly taller than the hitters he faced in Japan. So he said he's going to have to start his pitches out even higher.
Interesting.
Because everything does drop to get into the top part of the zone against hitters, or try and entice them at the bottom of the zone when it flips below the zone. That one's way up, and it's 3-2 on Moncada. So Tatsuya was ahead 0-2, and now the count's full.
Kind of hovering around 94, 95 with his fastball. That last pitch at 97.
24th pitch of the inning. Just the second swing of the inning from an Angels hitter is a foul ball. He might bring a little flash to this rotation. He's got some style.
Japanese players are a little more maybe subdued, respectful of the game, and not that he's not disrespectful, but he is going to show you some emotion. I think that's what we're kind of anxious to see too.
If he gets this strikeout, we'll see what kind of reaction we get. Runners will be gone again with 2 outs. Ground ball right side, and it's going to be Paredes getting tested early, and he makes the play. So Imai with a shutout first inning in his first inning in the big leagues.
Astros starting lineup is presented by Car Shield. Jeremy Pena back at the top of the lineup, and a lot of regulars in there as Jose DHs, and we just saw Isaac Paredes make a play at second base. But Joey Loperfido, he is off to an electric start. He's 3 for 7. He has 4 total bases and a double, and his OPS sits right at 1,000.
They will face the right-hander Jack Kahanowitz, who is the number 4 starter in the rotation. Kahanowitz had a rough season last year, as he was the highest ERA, as you can see, at 6.81 of any starter who made 20 or more starts in the major leagues. First pitch swinging is Jeremy Pena, chops one to Yoan Moncada, who plays a short hop over to first base. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Let's check out Kohanowitz's pitch mix on our StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. He's got a couple of different fastballs, sinker, four-seamer. He's heavy on the ground ball percentages. Secondary pitches will be the slider, changeup, and sweeper. He'll use all of those secondary pitches to left-handed hitters. Right-handed hitters will primarily see the first 3 in the order of sinker, four-seam, and slider.
You mentioned his ground ball percentage. He is at 53.8 since he's been a big leaguer, 3rd highest in that span. That's with a minimum of 110 innings. Yordan Alvarez looking for his first hit of the season against a right-hand pitcher. He's 0 for 5 against righties. He is 3 for 6 against lefties this year, including a home run against his former teammate Yusei Kikuchi on Friday night. Kahanowitz stopped in the middle of his delivery. Not sure if Yordan wasn't ready. And
oh, that's a big body to unfold.
It is a big guy. Tell you after. We're going to get an umpiring discussion here as the pitch.
Is that a disengagement if you don't throw the ball?
And with nobody on base, you're not.
Then it's a ball. But that's kind of, I mean, I'm hoping that it was more of a issue with the delivery.
With no runners on.
Chris Conroy trying to get his mic to work.
With no runners on, and the pitcher fails to deliver the pitch, it's a violation of the pitch clock. We're adding a ball to the count.
There we go. That's exactly what it was.
Good explanation. We love to hear.
Oh, please give us, yes, more info is better. And that was a very good job by Chris Conroy. Give him credit where credit is due.
2-0 the count to Yordan Alvarez. By the way, give this umpiring crew, as we see Brendan Miller behind home plate. So we've seen everybody get a time behind home plate. And so far, the average correct call has been right around 95% for this crew. And the Astros are 0 for 5 in ABS challenges in this series. And then we saw Mike Trout challenge one in the first inning. He was wrong. So the umpires have been pretty spot on in this series.
They've done a very good job. And it's great to be able to have them have that confirmation. For them also builds up their confidence.
Yeah, everybody's cheering one way or the other when the ABS review happens, and the umpire for sure is cheering for a confirmation.
Yes, they enjoy it when it's confirmed. That is for sure.
I told you. Jordan draws a walk here. Jordan's had his share of walks. That's now 4 on the season. Angels have been very careful with the big man. Now here's Isaac Paredes. 2 of those 4 walks have been intentional walks. Paredes takes one up for a ball, 1-0.
Kohanowitz is a big guy, 6'7", creates kind of a really good downward angle with that 2-seam fastball. That's why he gets a lot of ground balls, because guys will be on top of that pitch. Ooh. Trying to lift that one.
Yeah, Isaac was ready for that fastball and missed it at 97. Kohanowitz had the rare combination of having really impeccable control his first year in the majors, and then that drifted a little bit last year. And that's what got him into some hitters counts and got him into some trouble. This one popped up by Paredes and caught by Neto for the second out.
No, he's got some interesting numbers. What was it, 58 walks last season? But he's also a heavy sinker ball guy that gets ground balls at, like TK said, around 54%. But at the same time, gave up 21 home runs. So it's a really interesting stat line. He's not a heavy strikeout guy either.
No, for a big guy who throws hard, he does not pick up a lot of strikeouts. Here's Jose Altuve. Kohanowitz last year struggled mostly with fastball command when he fell behind counts. As he picks up a swinging strike on the slider, it's 0-1. Kohanowitz threw 42.8% of his fastballs within the strike zone. And of 125 pitchers with that many innings last year, he was 125th out of 125 in hitting the strike zone with his fastball. It's 1-1. So far in this game, he's kind of worked around Yordan Alvarez. Now has 2 outs and a runner on first base after the 1-out walk. First 7 hitters in this lineup have good numbers against Kohanowitz. They are a combined 7 for 15, including Altuve, who's 2 for 3. Jose misses that. Is that a changeup? He pulled the string.
Was a changeup. He doesn't throw too many of those right-handed hitters. Looking at some of the spring numbers, he was heavy on the 2 fastballs that he has and sliders. So kind of the rare changeup right on right.
That one gets by the catcher, and Yordan will trot to second base on the wild pitch. Travis d'Arnaud had no shot at that, and the count's full.
Yeah, he could have had a fly fishing net, and he's not catching this one. That was a slider yanked well to the outside, away from d'Arnaud.
See if Altuve can pick up his first run batted in of the year. Altuve has moved between the leadoff spot and the cleanup spot, depending on if Peña's in the lineup. And Jose takes a called third strike as he threw him 2 changeups in that at bat. The last one for a called third. Rooms to go. Get fashion, style, and quality all at low prices on every item every day. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fun can't lose. Tatsuya Imai back for his second inning of work through 25 pitches. 12 for strikes in his first inning. As he delivers the first pitch to Joe Adell. Adell, the first hitter to get aggressive on the first pitch as he misses the fastball. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I would imagine the conversations in that Angels dugout will be interesting today between hitters. Comparing notes, sharing thoughts.
Now one up, it's 1-1. Imai working with Christian Vasquez for the first time. Slider gets a swinging strike, 1-2. His slider can actually move two different ways, huh?
Oh, yeah. And this is a little bit of that backup because traditionally it's supposed to move down and away, kind of at an angle, like a 45-degree angle away from the right-handed hitter. And that's kind of where Joe Adell was headed when he recognized the ball just going straight down. So have fun with that, boys.
It's already fooled StatCast once or twice, thinking
Yep.
it was a splitter instead of that backup slider. But his slider can slide like a normal pitcher's or can back up, which makes it just very difficult on a hitter. We'll see how he manipulates the miles per hour on his fastball too as this game goes along. Plummer said he can be as many as 7 or 8 miles difference from his top velocity to his lower end velocity on his fastball.
We just saw that last pitch at 97 trying to sneak the cheese past Adell, just missed his spot.
So it's another full count. And that ball's hit hard, but on one hop, Carlos Correa makes a nice play and throws across in time. Joe Adell retired on a sharply hit ground ball.
Nice play by Los over there at third base. We know he's got the arm, but that ball hit well, 95 miles an hour off the bat. Plants his feet, throws a strike. He's really enjoying his time over there at third base. But I like, you see that drop step? Just that left foot opening up. That's a big move at third base where you can actually back up a little bit, see the baseball a little bit longer, and create the long hop so that you have time to react and make that good catch, because he knows he's got plenty of time to set his feet and make a strong throw. That was very sound fundamentally.
Carlos making the transition look easy, but it's not necessarily easy, Blummer, every day to go from third to short to third to short. Back and forth.
That is true. Reaction times are completely different.
Carlos starting opening day at short, playing last night at short, and games 2 and 4 getting the start at third base.
He made a play up the middle yesterday that was vintage CC at shortstop.
Josh Lowe, the batter, with a 2-1 count. And Imai has fallen behind his share of batters. That is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th 3-ball count.
Yeah, the fastball control is less than ideal to start this game. 7 strikes and 15 fastballs thrown.
That ball's hit high and deep but foul, as Lowe, who has a home run earlier in this series, got a little quick on that pitch. So full count here for the third straight batter. Got him. Sanshin is strikeout in Japanese. That's number 3 for Tatsuya Imai.
TK doing his homework. Love it. But talking about that slider, you can see that release, and it creates that dot. That red dot is what the hitters recognize as far as spin. But he is unique that he can pull it across the plate, or he can have that slider that backs up and drops. And that's where the issue is, because traditionally it doesn't move like a normal slider that these guys have been accustomed to seeing. And keep in mind, Imai's getting used to American baseball. The Japanese baseball is a little bit different with the seams So he's had to kind of use spring training and even this first start to try and understand how that baseball feels and how it reacts out of his delivery.
That's a point that not many people think about, but there is a difference.
Yeah. It may be subtle, but to pitchers, it's huge.
I guess the Japanese baseballs aren't rubbed up with mud, but they're pre-tacky or pre-tacked baseballs as we take a look at the strikeout.
That's another really good point. Yep. Yeah, that's just a nice little downward action to it.
I mean, everything is new for Imai. Sanshin, 2 of them in this inning, 4 strikeouts in the game for Imai as he has his first 1-2-3 inning in his big league career.
What's the
/tours. To game.
All right, Julia, bottom of the second inning. Astros coming to bat with Carlos Correa leading things off, followed by Joey Loperfido and Christian Walker. Carlos leads the team with 4 hits so far in this first 3 games of the 4-game series. Facing Jack Kohanowitz, who had to really pitch well to make this opening day roster. He was no guarantee to be in the starting rotation at the outset of the season. Injuries to Grayson Rodriguez with a shoulder issue and Alek Manoah with a finger issue kind of opened the door, and Kohanowitz took advantage by pitching very well in the spring with a 1.62 ERA and 4 starts. Falling behind Correa here to start the second inning, 2-0. Kohanowitz was signed out of Harrington High School in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, was a commit to University of Virginia, but was taken in the 3rd round of the draft in 2019 and signed with the Angels. There's a pitch for a strike, 2-1. Correa 4 hits in 12 at bats, hitting .333. Missed by much. The Angels have already lost one of their challenges, so they have to be careful here. 3-1.
Yeah, they're picking their spots on our MD Anderson strike zone. See if it caught a little bit of maybe a seam catch in the bottom of the zone.
I think the calculus changes dramatically once you lose your first one early.
Yeah.
Because then you're a little more careful. And Trout used one in the very first inning.
I'll let you go down there and tell Trout to not do that again. Yeah, but you got to be very careful, because then you do lose that one. You want to hold on to it for dear life. I would imagine it pushes back the idea to maybe until the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings.
Well, the Astros have lost their challenges on Friday night by the 7th inning in the top of the 7th, and on Saturday night by the bottom of the 5th. And here are the rules in case you're just watching your first telecast in 2026. A team starts with 2 challenges. They can challenge 100 or more times if they're right. But once they're wrong twice, their challenges are gone. Correa sends one to center. And that'll be out number 1 on the line drive. Joey Loperfido, the batter. Julia.
Hey, talking more about Joey here, who had a wild start to his spring training. Obviously, the trade, everyone knows about that. But for him personally, he was just getting settled in at Toronto's camp when he got the call. His girlfriend had just laid everything out, got her closet all figured out when they were told they were going to make the move, so they had to quickly pack up. He was so excited, though, so excited to head to West Palm Beach, a place that he already knew a lot of the guys. He came up with these guys, a lot of them, and so it was a reunion of sorts when he did come back to camp, and he was ready to compete that very first day.
Now, what a whirlwind when you are moved in spring training, because that happened to you, right?
Oh, yeah. I got traded to the Astros on March 12th. And like Julie was talking about, my girlfriend, who now became my wife, but she was 2 days away from getting on a plane and flying, to West Palm Beach where I was with the Expos. I'm like, babe, we need to reroute this thing. And, we're fresh into a relationship. She's like, why are you leaving that team to go to another team?
That ball's hit well.
To rake.
How about Joey Loperfido? He is picked up. Oh, he's going to try for 2. Big risk here, but he's safe. Loperfido gets in with a hustle double, running right in the face of that ball being picked up in right center field.
The entire play was right in front of him, and he made a decision to go for second base. He split the infield by hitting that ball hard, and Joe Adell had a long way to go to his left. And knowing that he's a right-handed thrower, it was going to be a little bit tougher. So Joey Lopes goes ahead and takes the extra 90 feet. But the only way you do that is breaking quickly out of the box. Love the energy.
Loperfido now 4 for 8 in the regular season. He led the team in hits and batting average in spring training, and he has not slowed down.
And I guarantee you, when he got that call in spring, he was like, babe, pack everything. I don't care. We're getting out of here. He was so happy to come back to Houston, where he does know a lot of these people in this organization and on this field.
So your move was from West Palm Beach to Kissimmee?
To Kissimmee.
Okay,
yeah.
not too bad.
And I went from, like Jose Canseco on my left and Mike Maddox, the pitching coach for the Angels, on my left, to Bagwell, Ausmus, Biggio, Wagner, Shane Reynolds. I was like, people in Montreal got really upset when I said this, because I did say it at the time. I felt like I got called up again. I went from the National League East just getting destroyed by the Braves and Mets in the late 90s, early 2000s, to a team that was winning the Central every year.
Christian Walker bats with a 3-0 count. By the way, I missed Walker's birthday yesterday, so apologies to Christian Walker. He turned 35 yesterday. He scored his 500th run of his career on his birthday. And oh, by the way, he had the game-winning RBI in that 11-9 win when he broke the 6-6 tie with that single. So happy belated birthday to Christian Walker.
Yes, happy birthday to the CW. It was kind of good to see him get that big knock. You know what I loved about him getting that base hit up the middle that helped the Astros win that ball game yesterday was the emotion that he showed afterwards.
Look, we're in small sample size theater right now because we're only 3 games and 2 innings in, but I like the at-bats that I've seen from Christian Walker so far. Again, it's a small sample, but just 1 strikeout. He's drawn his 3rd walk of the season already, hitting the ball hard, hitting velocity, high velocity hard, like all good signs, because last year he really struggled hitting here at home.
He had a very tough time with velocity up in the zone, so he's squared up and he's hitting the ball hard.
So watch for that.
Well, to his credit, too, last season came out of spring kind of dealing with the oblique injury. This season he is healthy and, again, a little more settled in and comfortable here in Houston after a year under his belt coming over from Arizona.
He's now one of 66 active players who have scored 500 runs or more. As Cam Smith looks at one just off the plate, it's 2-1. The Astros have their first rally going with 2 runners on here and 1 out. Jordan got to second base in the 1st inning with 2 outs. Astros trying to jump on the board first. They have trailed in the first 3 games of this series, with the Angels scoring first all 3 games. Kohanowitz having trouble with the mound a little bit.
Yeah, that landing spot gave out from underneath his spikes, and that's why he pulled that pitch to fall behind 3-1. But yeah, he's having some issues on that mound.
So see if Cam can find a 3-1 pitch to drive. Up and in. That's going to load up the bases. Back-to-back walks issued to Christian Walker and Cam Smith. And Christian Vasquez, in his first at-bat of the year, will have the bases loaded and 1 out. Now a word from Buick GMC.
There are trucks, then there's the truck. The GMC Sierra.
You know, looking at this lineup now, Blummer, with Joey Loperfido off to a hot start, if he hits somewhere in that 5 to 7 range, now all of a sudden you've got your Christian Walker, Cam Smith, and either Vasquez or Yainer Diaz as your bottom 3 hitters. That's a pretty solid 1 through 9.
Yeah, that shows that you've got good length. And again, this is the ability to get Isak, Carlos, Jordan, Altuve, all these guys into that lineup to create that kind of depth. But I also think it's kind of interesting that you've got Joey Loperfido, Christian Walker, and then Cam Smith. So you've kind of got the veteran sandwiched around 2 young guys. And I think that's kind of interesting, just in the sense that you're going to have some guys that are going to be hot and cold every once in a while, but you'll have the consistency, hopefully, of a veteran like Christian Walker.
Well, here we go. Christian Vasquez. Last time we saw him, he was DHing in the clinching Game 6 of the World Series in 2022 in this stadium. As he takes one way up and in, it's 1-0.
And Christian, we know, can put together some great at-bats. We'll see some pitches. He'll force the pitcher to pitch a little bit. When he's going right, he's up the middle the other way.
Vasquez wearing the number 2. First Astros since Bregman to wear that number as he takes a strike. It's 1-1. Christian signing late in the spring with the Astros on March the 9th. He was still playing in the World Baseball Classic for Team Puerto Rico. Fouls one back. It's 1-2.
He's back to a place he was pretty comfortable in, too. We know what he can do behind the plate. Works well with these pitchers, understands the system here in Houston.
One of the most underrated stats of that 2022 postseason was Vasquez behind the plate. He went 33 innings catching and allowed just 1 run for his catcher's ERA in the entire postseason.
Are you kidding me?
Including a no-hitter.
So good. Yeah, it's incredible.
33 innings, 1 run allowed when he was behind the plate in 2022's postseason. Now he's in a big spot here early with the bases filled and 1 out. He pokes one into right field, down for a hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Walker. He's going to score. The throw comes in late, and it's a 2 RBI single in the first at bat of 2026 for Christian Vasquez.
What a great job by the veteran. Talked about the at-bats he can put together and picked a big spot right here in his first at-bat. Back as a Houston Astro. Takes a 4-seamer, just doinks it off the end of the bat. Places it beautifully out there in right field. And drives in 2 to get things going for the Astros as the lineup turns over with more base runners on base.
So first and third now with 1 out, and Jeremy Pena, who grounded out on the first pitch he saw, has the infield back here with 1 away. And he goes after the first pitch again, misses this one. It's 0-1. Part of the issues for Kohanowitz last year was dealing with runners in scoring position. He allowed a .371 average and a 1,091 OPS with runners in scoring position. That was the highest total in both categories. As Vasquez singles with the bases loaded, giving the Astros a 2-0 lead. Now Jeremy battling down 0-2. Pena down on strikes. Second strikeout for Kohanowitz. Runners stay on the corners. Now it'll be up to Jordan Alvarez. Well, they have been very reluctant to pitch to Jordan in this series. First and third here, you would think they have to at least try to challenge him. Jordan drawing a walk his first time up. For the fourth time in this series, has also been hit by a pitch. Do throw him a strike. It's 0-1. Astros lead it 2-0. They're on the board first for the first time in this series.
Yeah, they continue to go inside. Saw that yesterday with Reed Detmers and Luke Casey were throwing two-seam fastballs as left-handers trying to get in on the hands of Jordan. Of course, big fella likes it out over the plate. Set up inside again. But you better get it in there. You make a mistake out over the plate, it's going to get hammered. But again, very careful in how they're approaching him.
Evens the count at 2 apiece. Astros have made Kohanowitz work this inning. 31 pitches already in the second. 4 consecutive batters reaching with a couple of walks and a couple of hits. Vasquez was on the move on that 2-2 pitch.
Got away with one right there. That was a fastball well out over the plate.
On the ground, base hit right field. In the score, Cam Smith. 3-0 Astros. Jordan Alvarez with the RBI.
And I've got to be honest, I was surprised that they were attacking Jordan. Technically, if there is a base open, there's a base open. You have some place to put him without driving in a run, but instead, they came after him. There was a back-to-back fastballs that were out over the plate, and you can't make mistakes like that. You're actually fortunate he just pulled that into right field as a base hit. That's a sinker right out of the middle part of the plate that he probably, later in the season, might put into the upper deck.
Now Isaac Paredes bats. He popped up his first time up. 8th man to hit in the inning. Takes a strike, 0-1. The Astros, who struggled to score runs in the first 2 games and then the first 4 innings of Game 3, have put up some crooked numbers here the last 2 days. 3-run 5th, 8-run 6th, and now a 3-run 2nd and bidding for more. All those runs last night came with 2 outs. Today, the Christian Vasquez 2 RBI single came with 1 out. Jordan adding a 2-out RBI here. Towards third, and it's going to stay fair. Moncada makes the throw, and it's going to get by the first baseman, Showdown. It was wide, and Showdown was going to collide with Paredes. He went out to catch that ball, and it gets by him, and that's now a 4-0 Astros lead.
Not only are the Astros getting big hits with 2 outs, they're also benefiting from poor defense. Second day in a row, we've seen the defense give the Astros extra outs, and usually when you give good teams extra outs, runs continue to cross. That's exactly what happened. An inning-ending ground ball ends up being a 2-out run being scored to get the Astros to 4-0. That explains it.
Just put that ball in play. Some good things can happen.
You are correct.
Now Jose Altuve bats with a first and third situation. He is the 9th hitter of the inning. Error on Yoan Moncada, scoring the 4th run of the inning. Altuve has a 2-0 count. We've seen Kohanowitz throw 38 pitches here in the second inning. Altuve's seeing a lot of
Keep
changes.
throwing him changeups. I thought the same thing because the previous pitch was a changeup, and you kind of saw the way Altuve took it. He jumped out of there like, what the heck is going on? And I think the only changeups he's thrown to right-handed hitters have been to Altuve.
You were saying during the break after the first inning, this isn't the scouting report for two.
No, if you're sitting down and you're doing a little pregame on him, obviously every hitter has their own database to work from with their experience against guys, but at the same time, you're looking at the sheet and you're going, dude, this guy hasn't thrown a changeup to a right-handed hitter in a year and a half. All right, I'm going to eliminate that. And Altuve's seen 5, I think, in 2 at-bats.
And he finally saw a fastball.
And he might have been not sitting on it, but maybe anticipating the changeup in that hitter's count.
So Tuve with a 3-2 count now. He had faced him 3 times prior to today and had never seen the changeup before today. Paredes will be off at first. And the 3-2 pitch is low, ball 4. Jose Altuve draws another walk. He has 4 walks on the year. And the Astros have reloaded the bases here. Will send 10 men to the plate. Carlos Correa, who started the inning, bats again. Correa's had a few opportunities so far this year where the base is loaded. You can see he has 3 career grand slams, 1 as an Astro and 2 as a Twin. Memory serves, the Astros home run, his grand slam, came on the road in St. Louis.
Bullpen getting moving for Anaheim, LA, whatever you want to call them.
They play in Anaheim.
The LA team that doesn't even play in LA County.
Ryan Zefferjohn, saw him warming up. So here we go. Correa has a chance to really bust this open.
Oh, this could be exciting, yeah.
Carlos lined out to center field his first time up. Big swing, no contact.
Another changeup.
How about it?
So he's feeling pretty good with that changeup right on right. Mixing things up a little bit here early in his first start of the 2026 season.
This is the Astros' 5th at-bat this year with the bases loaded. Correa's had 3 of the 5 at-bats.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yainer Diaz has 1 of the other ones. He has a 2 RBI base hit, and then his catching mate Christian Vazquez in this inning has the other at-bat with the bases loaded. He has a 2 RBI base hit. Correa to short. Neto is there. And Carlos retired for the final out of the inning. But a good inning for the Astros. 4 runs, 3 hits. There was an error in the mix, as well as 3 walks. Astros lead 4-0.
All in, all the time is presented by Daily and Black as we take a look at last night's game. There were a lot of highlights from the offense, but defense had their own highlight reel going. How about these from Carlos Correa? Of course, Cam Smith making a couple of plays going into the netting here. He was all right. And Isaac Paredes had a great play, too. This is something they talked about post-game. Even Christian Walker was in awe of some of the plays that he saw, but a veteran guy saying that there is some momentum that can be built there too when you're playing defensively like that. While you're able to score some runs, that is huge for this team moving forward. So they were very happy with putting a complete game together. TK.
Yeah, we talked about Correa shifting between short and third, but Isaac Paredes back in there at second today after playing third base last night. So he's having to shift around on the infield to try and get your best bats in the lineup on a regular basis.
Yeah, credit Isaac for being able to adjust too. He wants to get those at bats. Now if that means moving to the right side of the diamond, he will.
Speaking of second baseman, the Angels have Adam Frazier playing second base today. This is the first game he has played in an Angels uniform. A veteran who's played most of his career with the Pirates, but has moved to some different teams in recent years. And Tatsuya Imai, who had a long inning to rest in the bottom of the second inning, with Kohana throwing 45 pitches in the bottom half of the second inning to match Imai's number. But Tatsuya has come out and missed on 3 of the first 4 to the 9-hitter. Ground ball right side, and there's Christian Walker. He'll flip it to Imai. Good pitcher's fielding practice on the 3-1 putout. First time through the lineup, Imai has not allowed a hit. He's allowed a couple of walks and struck out 4. Now back to the top of the order, and Zach Neto.
You've got to imagine Imai is one of those veteran arms that probably will settle down the further he gets into the season, further he gets into lineups.
Unique personality along with a lot of unique deliveries, Julia, with Tatsuya Imai.
Yeah, we're learning about them. The personality is starting to come out. How about the bullpen he threw yesterday? Did you guys catch that? That was yesterday. That doesn't usually happen. Very, very rare. And Joe Espada was talking about this, saying, you know, I thought it was a little touch and feel, but he was throwing 95 yesterday, so he was letting it rip in there. The volume's not up. It's 20 pitches or so, but that is different. And Imai talked about this, saying, the Astros giving me permission to keep the routine that I did in Japan, which I was very successful with there, has been huge for him, giving me the freedom. And he knows he also said, I need to produce. This team is giving me that. They're giving me this freedom. Now it's my turn to produce for them.
What about what you've noticed in the first, today's his start day, so it's a little different when he starts, but the first 3 games, watching him in the dugout, his interactions with his teammates.
Yeah, he did really well this spring getting to know a lot of the guys. You know, I talked to Hunter Brown about this. The language barrier is there, but they're all chatting with him. He's chatting. It's fun. It's fun to watch them learn about each other, and they're laughing. Who knows what they're laughing about? Remember in spring they were talking about cowboy boots. So it's fun to know that they're getting to know each other aside from all the baseball talk. And then they were all out there today for him to warm up just like they do for any other pitcher. So learning from him, learning things that he likes, and maybe helping him out at times. I think it's fun. I think it's fascinating.
2-2 pitch to Neto, holds up on a pitch up, and now the count's 3-2.
He lost his spring training buddy Ryan Weiss to the bullpen. You know, it's a little bit different in spring where you kind of you can intermingle a little bit, but in big leagues, man, those guys take off to the bullpen, and you kind of lose that guy. It became pretty tight in spring.
In case you missed our spring telecasts when we were chatting about Ryan Weiss, Ryan basically went through in reverse exactly what Tatsuya Imai is going through now. A whole new culture. When he moved out to Korea with his wife and spent 2 years out there with the Hanshin Tigers, did Ryan Weiss. He was basically the first year, the only guy speaking English on his team.
Yeah.
And so he really kind of helped out with Imai's transition this spring when Tatsuya didn't know very many people. As he walks Neto for the second time as he's a 1-out base runner. That's now 3 walks for Imai. There's Mike Trout. So far he has thrown Trout nothing but strikes. He has been working deep
fastballs.
Working deep counts to everybody, but he's been challenging Trout.
Might be a little more focused with this guy at the plate. No offense to everybody else in the lineup, but might be keying on this guy right here. And he's staying with the fastball. That's what's interesting. A lot of these other hitters in this Angels lineup have seen the sliders, the splits, a couple of different fastballs, but Mike Trout just seeing nothing but fastballs, and that one's just catching the top rail.
Ooh, just missed. The first miss he's had to Trout. It's 1-2.
Tell you what, that's a pretty good take by Mike Trout. That one just above the top of the zone.
Trout has not been chasing those pitches just above the zone in the series.
That is a great point.
It's something that has given him issues in the past.
Especially at this ballpark.
Just out 2-2. Again, Trout taking a close pitch. For reference, coming into this series at Daikin Park, Trout had struck out 86 times to 48 walks before this series. And in this series, even with his strikeout in the first inning, he has 2 strikeouts to 6 walks. So he has turned those numbers around in his first 4-game set. And if he's hitting well here at Daikin Park.
Yeah, watch out in other places. Whew. He's probably chomping at the bit to get to Seattle.
This is his kryptonite.
He loves hitting there. Yeah, this is polar opposite from how he is here. But I think we talked about it. Came into the season at this ballpark in his career hitting .201.
Now he's got a 1955 OPS starting play today, which is 3rd best in the major leagues with what he's done in his first 3 games. Imai has seen his pitch count elevate here in the first 3 innings with about a 50-50 split balls to strikes. And now it's another full count. Eighth 3-ball count of the first 11 hitters of the game. And there is the first big league hit against Imai. It's a base hit by Trout to left center. Neto will go first to third. And the Angels have runners on the corners with 1 out.
Trout finally got a fastball he could handle. Got those arms extended on the outside part of the plate.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of pitch count Imai is on today. In Japan, when he pitched once a week, he would throw 115, 120, 120 plus pitches in a start at times. You're not going to see that.
No.
But Joe Espada also knows that he's a guy that has been stretched out in his career. So I would think he's at least good to 100 today, but he's already at 60 with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Here's Nolan Shonowell, who leads the team in RBIs with 4, batting with 1st and 3rd, and 1 out. He's got a 2-0 count.
If there was a way to get a double play ball right here, you would like to find it. Because Joe Espada would love to see Imai push himself into that 5th inning.
Imai does have 3 ground ball outs to go along with his 4 strikeouts. Does not have any outs in the air. And you can see him turning his head, and he's frustrated. He's not been able to locate the way he wants to today. It's 3-0.
These are big innings for any pitcher who has been sitting there watching their offense put up a 4 spot. You'd love to get out there and have a shutdown inning.
There's a strike. 9 of the first 12 hitters have seen a 3-ball count.
Be a little bit of nerves, a little bit of getting used to the mound here at Daikin Park.
New baseball, as you mentioned.
New baseball, you're right. That's actually the first time we've seen him miss wildly out of the zone.
So that is now 4 walks. He has walked Neto and Shonowell twice each. And out with the translator goes Josh Miller to talk to Tatsuya Imai. So bases are loaded with 1 out, and the cleanup hitter Jorge Soler due up. Now, a word from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
Tatsuya Imai, 66 pitches into this game, has thrown 30 strikes and 64 pitches into this game, 30 strikes and 34 off the plate. So Soler, who was called out on strikes, bats here with the bases filled in a 4-0 game. Takes one in for a ball, 1-0. Stirring in the Astros bullpen in this third inning. This is his 25th pitch of the inning. Ground ball foul, and it's 1-1.
Trying to get a feel for where he's going to have that four-seamer. Before the game.
That ball hit down the line and left. That's trouble. It's going to be in the corner for at least one, now two, possibly three runs. Three being sent home is Showdown. Here comes the throw by Pena. It is not quite in time. A bases clearing double by Jorge Soler. And the Angels within one now at 4-3.
Jorge Soler likes hitting in this ballpark. Got this slider off the end of the bat, but he's plenty strong enough to get that down there into the corner. The only question was it going to stay fair? And it did. Everybody off with the swing of the bat.
So two walks this inning, come around to score. And now ball foul off the bat of Yohan Moncada. Roderick Munoz warming up in the Astros bullpen. Astros have had their starters go 4 2/3 innings, 5 2/3 innings, and then 4 2/3 innings last night. Imai trying to get through the third today. Down and in, 1-1. Astros with a 4 spot in the bottom half of the second inning, and the Angels answering right back in the third. On the ground right side, Paredes goes down to a knee to secure the ground ball. Moncada out number 2, Soler to third.
Join the official kids club of the Houston Astros and sign up for the Astros Buddies Club presented by HEB today. Buddies Club members receive a drawstring bag, widget hat, widget charms, socks, lanyard, and 4 tickets to an Astros game. Visit astros.com/buddies to sign up today.
Joe Adell, the batter, runner on third, 2 outs. First pitch missing, 1-0. Already a 30-pitch inning for Imai on the heels of Kohana throwing 45 pitches last half inning. It's going to be one of those that is going to be up to both bullpens before long.
I feel like in the first 3 games this season and going into this 4th game, we've seen a lot of pitches thrown by both sides.
Missed the slider on the 2-0 pitch.
Some late movement on that one.
And that could tie up the game unless Jordan makes a diving attempt. He can't quite get there. That is going to be An RBI single for Adele, third hit of the inning, and the Angels have answered the Astros 4 runs with 4 of their own, and that will be the last batter that Tatsuya Imai faces in his major league debut. So Imai will go 3 2/3 innings and allow 4 runs. He is responsible for Adele at first base, and he will leave this game tied at 4. Not the debut he was hoping for. Dealt with some command issues. Gets a nice hand from the crowd as he walks off the mound as a big leaguer for the first time.
Thought they were cool.
Tatsuya Imai maybe a little frustrated after that first outing as the Astros. We saw flashes of brilliance. Just command was the only thing that was really an issue for him. I think fatigue finally set in that last outing, but it's experience, and it's only his first start, but we saw that his stuff will play. He's a veteran of pitching at this level, so he's going to make those adjustments moving forward as Rodri Munoz comes in relief here in top of the third inning.
Munoz had his own issues with command in his first outing as an Astro. The Rule 5 pick went 2/3 of an inning on Friday night and threw 26 pitches, only 10 for strikes. But he earned his way onto the roster with a really good spring. Those numbers don't tell the whole story. He had a tough first outing and then really locked it in his last 9.
It's an electric right arm. He is in the mid to upper 90s consistently. 2-seam, 4-seam fastballs. He's got a slider. Sometimes he'll overthrow it a little bit and it'll look like a cutter.
First batter he faces is Josh Lowe. Lowe fouls one away. It's 1-2. Munoz, a Rule 5 pick from the Reds this past offseason. Rule 5 picks have to stay on the team the entire year or offered back to the organization that you took him from, in this case Cincinnati. So as long as Munoz, with that stuff Plummer talks about, can command the zone a little bit better than he did his first time out, he's going to be a weapon out of that pen. We might see a lot of this guy during the course of the season. Picks up a strikeout of the first batter he faces, and the Astros are out of the inning. It's tied at 4 as the Angels put up a 4-run top of the third.
That you call
lawnmower blonde. We saw a few well-timed and big swings for the first baseman so far this series. And last night, Christian Walker was 2 for 4 with an RBI in last night's win. We saw him smoke some balls, even show some emotion. I heard Blummer talking about that as well. He talked about his performance, but also the team's performance yesterday, saying the lineup was craving that kind of game. They knew that type of production was there. He liked the way the guys felt the trend of when the pitchers were starting to lose it a little bit. But also, guys, he talked to me early in spring about his year as a whole. He said, zooming out, I am proud of myself for chipping away and not giving up and coming back. The slug was better the second half. It's easy to roll over and die at this level, but I couldn't feel bad for myself. And he was proud with the way that he finished the year.
Yeah, that's a tough transition year when you start out having the first half he did. And he still battled through to put up some good numbers in the second half.
That was a persevering year.
Adam Frazier gets his first play of the day and makes his first play as an Angel defensively, getting Joey Loperfido for the first out. There is Christian Walker. His last 91 games last year, he had a 784 OPS, which is still not where he was with the Angels his previous 3 years, but obviously was much better than his first 60-plus games of the season. Takes a called strike 0-1. He was over 800 OPS 22, 23, and 24 his last 3 years with the Diamondbacks. This is a team filled with Christians. We mentioned we missed Walker's birthday yesterday. Christian Javier, who's in the dugout right now, celebrated his birthday on opening day. There's Christian Vasquez behind the plate today, and Christian Roa in the bullpen.
Yeah, you walk into the Astros clubhouse and scream Christian, you're going to get assaulted. It's going to be an entire gang of guys coming your way.
Christian Javier, the only one that spells his name C-R-I. The rest of them spell it with an H. As Christian Walker sends one pretty well into right center field, but it's slicing to Jorge Soler rather, and Soler makes the play for out number 2. So 2 outs for Kohanowitz, who needed an efficient inning after throwing 45 pitches last inning. He has 2 outs on 6 pitches here in the third. Cam Smith walked and scored a run last time. Cam hits the ball on the line to right. Soler moves to his right. Diving attempt, and Jorge Soler, who doesn't play much defense, just made one of the best plays of his career defensively.
Shocking everybody by laying out and making a phenomenal play to take away extra bases from Cam Smith.
MLB.com/season tickets for more information.
Let's take a look at today's Chevy Straw Poll for the afternoon. We're going to ask you about the biggest key to success for the Astros in 2026. A, if Tatsuya Imai matches the hype. B, Jordan stays healthy for the year. C, Jeremy Pena has an MVP type of year. Or D, Cam Smith and Bryce Matthews have breakout seasons. Send your votes to @SpaceCityHN. Use the hashtag Straw Poll. First pitch not thrown by Roderick Munoz, and before the pitch is thrown, Christian Vasquez wants to go out and chat with him. Munoz has the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up, so a little smile on his face after Vasquez said whatever he needed to say about throwing the first pitch of the inning.
Would have been great if Christian goes out there and goes, "How do you pronounce your first name?" "Okay, nice to meet you. I'll be behind the plate if you need me."
Maybe he said, "I'm going to make sure I know all your pitches."
Yo, man, yeah.
Because Christian got to spring training late and may not have caught all the guys out of the bullpen.
I'm with you. No, that seriously could be a little bit of it. Remind me, do you have a changeup?
Vasquez was on deck when the inning ended, so maybe they didn't go over their last-minute notes right before the top of the 4th inning. And now it's Travis d'Arnaud hitting with an 0-2 count. Roderick Munoz, 25-year-old, will turn 26 in a couple of weeks. That ball hit pretty well into left field. Yordan Alvarez all the way back. He'll look up and watch it go off the base of the wall. Travis d'Arnaud on an 0-2 pitch. It's a double to the wall in left center.
There's a hanging slider that stayed middle in, up and in. And d'Arnaud just opened up on it. Pretty good swing on a gift of a 2-strike pitch.
Yeah, too much plate there on a, like you said, a pitch. Just kind of hitting or spinning on a hitter's tee. Here's Adam Frazier. Frazier watches one wide, 1-0. So yesterday, the Astros came back down 6 to score 11 unanswered runs and eventually win that game 11-9. Today, the Angels were down 4 in a much earlier point of the game, but they bounced back with 4 last inning. Now they have the leadoff runner on in the 4th. Frazier signed right at the beginning of spring training with the Angels on February the 16th. 7 years with the Pirates. Also has played with San Diego, Seattle, Baltimore, and Kansas City. Pretty nasty slider there, 1-2.
Yeah, that's what Munoz is looking for with that slider. These are some power downers in the zone. Back legging Frazier for back-to-back swings and misses. Wow.
Right back to it. Right back to it. That's 9 strikes to the 11 pitches thrown by Munoz. He has 2 strikeouts.
That was beautiful. Able to triple up on that pitch and get the strikeout. That was nicely done.
So now Zach Neto, who drew 2 of the 4 walks allowed by Tatsuya Imai today. If you're just joining us and you were expecting to see Imai pitching in the 4th inning, his final line was 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned. Walking 4 and striking out 4. Imai showed flashes of brilliance, but just didn't have the command consistency today. He threw 74 pitches, 36 strikes, 38 balls.
I think he nailed it when he was out there, saying he didn't work ahead of many hitters. Fastball command really wasn't there for Imai, allowing him to set up the split or the splits and the sliders that he does have.
Ended up throwing 33 pitches in his final inning of work, getting 2 outs, but allowing 5 of the last 6 hitters to reach. 2-1 the count to Neto. Anthony Ghost was the last Rule 5 selection for the Astros prior to this offseason when Munoz was taken. Ghost was transitioning from an outfielder to a pitcher, a lefty. Didn't make the team in 17. The last Rule 5 pick to make the Astros before Munoz was Josh Fields back in the 2012 Rule 5 draft.
Astros got their money's worth out of him.
Did they ever?
Beautiful.
That Rule 5 draft ended up turning into Yordan Alvarez.
Is that not incredible to think about? It's amazing. And we saw Fields pitch pretty well for the Astros, well enough to be in that trade.
So Roddery now with a 3-2 count on Neto, who has worked deep counts all 3 plate appearances so far. And he hammers this one, and this could be off the back of the community leaderboard signs. It ends up beyond the Crawford boxes for a 2-run home run. Neto has his 2nd home run of the series, and the Angels have now scored 6 unanswered runs. And it's now a 6-4 LA lead.
Really similar to the slider that he threw to Darno, that Darno hit for a double. That one backing up and staying up out over the plate, and Neto taking advantage of it.
Man, you're not lying. That was almost the exact same pitch. So Neto had 26 home runs and 26 steals last year, hits his 2nd of this season. And the Angels have answered with 6 straight runs after a 4-run second for the Astros. Mike Trout takes a pitch for a strike. Munoz faced Trout in the game on Friday and got him to fly out to right. Munoz in that game replaced Mike Burrows and walked 3 of the 5 batters he faced. Today, facing his 5th batter of this outing. Astros are going to try and find some length here out of Munoz. They have nobody warming up in the bullpen. Game 4 of 7 straight to start the season without an off day. Called 3rd strike. Trout goes down looking. 2nd time he's been called out on strikes. Munoz has 3 strikeouts. There's 2 away. Join the Astros for Autism Awareness Night. It's this Tuesday, highlighted by unique activations around the ballpark and a special Autism Awareness Night hat add-on package. You can learn more by going to astros.com/autismawareness. There's Nolan Shonowell, who has walked twice today. And he takes a 1st pitch strike. All the outs recorded by Munoz thus far have been via strikeouts. That one's down 1-1. Mentioned it's been a busy weekend of sporting activities in H-Town. Congratulations to the Fighting Illini, University of Illinois, advancing out of the Houston region on to the Final Four. And Gary Woodland is really starting to increase his lead in the final round of the Houston Open, presented by Texas Children's Hospital.
Yeah, he is swinging confidently out there at Memorial Park.
He's got a 6-stroke lead heading to the back 9 in the final round.
The story's incredible. His swing looks beautiful. It'll be a real accomplishment and a great spot for him to pick up a win here in Houston. But we still got plenty of game left here, too.
And we have a lot of baseball left. We're in the 4th of a 6-4 game.
I feel like I've seen a game already.
It's been a lot of pitches, as you said. This will be the 99th pitch for the Astros today. And it's a line drive bullet, but right at Jeremy Pena. Shonowell hit it hard, but he's out number 3.
It's time for Discipline That Delivers, presented by Vanguard. Christian Vasquez did a very good job with the bases loaded in his first at-bat of the year. Got a couple of fastballs to try and attack, but eventually got a four-seamer out over the plate and doing a good job in protecting and fouling off to get to this position, allowing him to be able to put that ball in play and drive in a couple of runs in that big second inning for the Astros. A very good, disciplined veteran at bat.
So Vasquez, who just joined the Astros in the second week of March, in the middle of playing in the WBC, in his second at bat as an Astro in the regular season, pops a foul, and Shonowell pulls a Cam Smith and flies into the netting, not with as much steam as Cam did last night. Netting getting a test out there.
Next on Deadliest Catch. Good form going in.
Really solid.
Yeah, nice dismount.
Kept the leg straight, perpendicular. 1-1 count to Vasquez. There's a strike. It's 1-2. Vasquez played 35 games in the regular season for the Astros in 22 after being acquired from the Red Sox. He was acquired in a trade made while he was about to take batting practice for Boston. Kind of an awkward moment.
A little bit.
Moving from one clubhouse to the other. He was approached by reporters and asked about the trade, and he wasn't even 100% sure it had been made. He was taken off the field at that point and informed that he was in fact going to the Astros and he would end up part of the World Championship team that year. This one softly hit to second. Adam Frazier on a hop will underhand toss it to Shonowell for the first out. Well, Jack Kohanowitz survived a 45-pitch inning in the second. Had a 1-2-3 third, and now he's all of a sudden retired the last 5 batters after facing 10 hitters in the second inning. Jeremy Pena has grounded out and struck out. Jeremy bats for the 3rd time here in the 4th inning. Astros in essence have, if you count today's reliever Rodri Munoz in the mix, 4 long relievers out of their 8 in the pen, because AJ Blueball will give you depth. Ryan Weiss, a starter in Korea, can give you depth. We saw Kai-Wei Tang pick up his first win as an Astro yesterday, as he pitched really well out of the pen for 2 1/3 innings. And now today it's Munoz's turn. So you've got half of your bullpen right now who can give you length, and it's been necessary because the Astros have had 3 of their starters go less than 5 innings so far of their first 4.
Yeah, you've got to protect these starters early in the season. They haven't really been stretched out, which will probably be through the first month before they actually get to that century mark as far as pitch counts and be able to work from there.
Kai-Wei Tang was impressive last night.
Well, he admitted that he was a little nervous that first outing, but once he settled in and that sweeper found its stride, man, that thing looked nasty. And he wiped through some of these Angels to earn that win.
Called third strike on Pena as he is down for the second time today on strikes. All right, with more on Kai-Wei Tang, we check in with Julia.
Yeah, he did. He was a little nervous, and he admitted Blummer might have been a little excited in that first inning, but what was impressive was that he took a second in between innings and went out and felt much more comfortable on the mound. So that was the only adjustment he really needed to make in order to start pitching it better. Also, he said, I want to give a huge shout out to the offense and what they were doing while I was working, while I was waiting. It was really appreciated, the help he said from the offense, but also really fun to watch what they were doing. He is still new to this team. Obviously, he's been with them all spring, but he is still learning about these guys and having a good time doing it.
So after pitching 2 different seasons with the Giants, was the nerve factor just trying to perform for his new teammates?
It was it. He said it over and over. He said, I want to do well. This is my first opportunity here. This team is taking a chance on me. I want to do well for them. So I think the pressure, we saw it on him early in that outing, but good to see him settle down and pitch great for the team.
Yordan Alvarez bats with 2 outs, bases clear. Dana Brown he gets excited about a lot of maneuvers, but he was as excited about that trade that he made with the Giants as I've seen him for almost any of his moves he's made. And he was really high on Kai-Wei Tang. Said we've been really spotting him for the last couple of years and really wanted to bring him over if we could find the right move. And they ended up trading a minor league catcher, Jansen Villarreal, who's now in the Giants minor league system. But Dana was amped up.
Would have been fun to see him during Tang's appearance yesterday.
Yeah. He enjoys showing emotions during the course of the game. We love having him on the broadcast whenever he stops by. Yordan has an RBI base hit and a walk. There's Kai-Wei. He knows after going 2 1/3, he doesn't need a hat. He probably doesn't need a spikes. He's pretty chill today.
I don't even know if he has pants on.
Hopefully he does.
I don't want to find out.
That ball's hit hard to left center field, but it's not hit hard enough as the left fielder Lowe cuts across to make the play for the final out. All of a sudden, Jack Kohanowitz, after a 10-batter second inning, has retired the last 7.
Baseball on SCHN is presented by Gallery Furniture, Novel Law Group, You got hurt? Make them pay. DoNotSettle.com. And by Steel, find your Steel dealer at SteelUSA.com.
Fifth inning baseball, Jorge Soler leading things off. The Soler followed by Yoan Moncada and Joe Adell as Rodri Munoz back out there. Munoz starting the inning in the mid-20s with his pitch count. So with that in mind, the Astros have their bullpen starting to move as Munoz begins this inning. Rodri facing his 7th batter in his outing as he misses well off the plate, 1-1. That is Christian Roa, one of the 4 Christians on this team that we mentioned earlier. Have an all Christian battery here in a moment. It's 1-1 to Soler, who doubled really the biggest swing of the day for the Angels. He turned a 4-0 deficit into a 4-3 game, and the Angels have added 3 more runs to take a 6-4 lead into the 5th. Through the legs of Munoz, and a nice pick on the second hop by Isaac Paredes for the first out.
That was a pretty exciting ground ball. Hit hard by Soler again. Right through the legs of Munoz, and Isaac did a good job of adjusting and going out and getting that short hop to make the play.
Isaac's a smooth operator.
He's got great hands.
He really does. He never panics. Here's Yoan Moncada. Oh. That one looked catchable, but Vasquez had to go to the backstop. It's 1-0. Again, Vasquez learning the staff.
He is
on the fly. He did catch 4 games in spring training, but not as many games as you normally would if you were with the team from the start. That one's on the edge for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, and in between those starts as a catcher in spring training, you're catching so many bullpens. And you kind of use the bullpen situations to try and get to know how some of those pitchers' pitches will react.
He throws some good sliders down and into lefties in this outing, but he's been a little inconsistent with that pitch.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to have the same action on that slider to right-handed hitters. The 2 that he's thrown to right-handed hitters have kind of stopped and stayed out over the plate.
It resulted in a double by d'Arnaud. He's also left one up against Jorge Soler. 2-2 the count to Yoan Moncada. Actually, it was Zach Neto he left it up to. Soler, this one down and in.
Yeah, Soler got Imai.
Imai,
yeah.
Tatsuya Imai, in case you're wondering as you move forward when he'll pitch again, scheduled to pitch game 2 of the road trip. That would be in Sacramento against the A's. So that'll be coming up on Saturday of next week. So he'll be pitching with 5 days of rest. And then as that road trip continues, Christian Javier would then be scheduled to pitch the first game in Sacramento and the last game in Denver against the Rockies. And then Imai would then pick up another day off and pitch with 5 days rest again for his 3rd start in Seattle. And that's not by accident. The first 3 pitchers in this rotation will go on 4 days rest at some point in the first 2 weeks. Imai will not. And then beyond that stretch there where they start to play 13 games in a row after that day off in Seattle, we'll probably see a 6th starting pitcher added to the rotation. So Imai will not pitch on 4 days rest, especially after what he's been used to the last 8 years in Japan.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Kind of like that he's still in the dugout.
And just grinding over the iPad. He's probably going pitch by pitch. Watching the mechanics, seeing the release points, seeing what he did well, what he needs to work on. That's what these guys do at this level.
A lot of starters retired to the clubhouse after their outings. Imai has elected to stay, and Watch his teammates from right there alongside of them. It's 0-2 to Adele, and there's a ground ball foul. You'd think Munoz is probably nearing the end of his pitch total. He's about to hit 40 pitches out of the pen. That one gets past Vasquez. That'll be a wild pitch to move Moncada into scoring position. Moncada drew a walk on a full count pitch. The Angels right now starting the day in first place in the AL West. They're the only team in the division with a winning record. Texas is 1-1. Seattle is 1-2. The A's 0-2. Line drive single to straightaway center. Having to hold up was Moncada, so he can't score on the Loperfido throw coming back in. Joe Adele has his second straight hit, and now runners on the corners for the Angels with one out. Munoz will stay in there to face Josh Lowe. Munoz did strike out Lowe his first time he faced him. He was the first batter Munoz faced in the third inning.
Got him with a good fastball. Seems like there's a little bit of fatigue in Munoz. Some of these pitches, fastballs missing arm side, and then maybe overthrowing some sliders. Stay focused on the mechanics.
I was looking down in the dugout after that last base hit, and there was a little bit of discussion, but they elected to stay with Munoz for another batter. You're always thinking ahead to a series starting next and not trying to wear out your bullpen too much today. But I agree with you. It looks like Munoz is nearing the end of the rope. It's 2-0. Three and one the count. And Munoz will take his time here. First and third with one out. So far 2 runs allowed by Munoz. Trying to work out of a first and third one out situation here.
Credit the Angels for not expanding. They're doing a good job of being patient and working into some of these hitters' counts. Wouldn't mind another heater at the top of the zone right here to Josh Lowe.
Astros have been able to strike out Lowe 7 times in this series in his 13 at bats. But he does have a double and a home run of his 2 hits this season. Tried to hold up, and he goes too far. That is a strikeout for Munoz. His 4th strikeout in the second out of the inning. That will be the last batter he faces, as here comes Joe Espada.
Good slider down and in after that fastball up to get that strikeout. Much needed.
So Lowe goes down on strikes. Christian Roa will be the new pitcher to face Travis d'Arnaud when we come back. T-Mobile members get free MLB.tv. Redeem at T-Mobile.com/MLB.
Beautiful afternoon here in Houston. Outside, indoors, getting a little bit rough. A lot of pitches thrown by Astros pitching as we pan back into the ballpark. Runners on the corners, and a new pitcher into this game is going to be local Christian Roa. 9 games in spring, great numbers, earned his way onto this ball club, throwing 13 strikeouts, walking nobody. Interesting spot here for Roa to move in as he makes his second appearance for the Astros.
Trying to keep it a 2-run game, facing Travis d'Arnaud, who takes a strike. d'Arnaud doubled to the base of the wall in left center field. 2 batters later, Zach Neto hitting a home run. That gave the Angels their first lead of the day, 6-4. This ball fouled away, and just like last time, he was down to the count 0-2. That was the mistake that Munoz made. Too nice of a pitch on 0-2 to d'Arnaud, who batted 197 last year in 69 games with the Angels. Got him. 3-pitch strikeout. The local guy out of Memorial High School, Christian Roa, keeps the game at 6-4. We're halfway home.
Astros season tickets, partial plans, mini plans, and flex plans are all available now for the 2026 season. Choose the plan that best fits your schedule and or you can create your own. Learn more at astros.com/tickets. Isaac Paredes leading off for the Astros here, hitting behind Yordan Alvarez so far this season. Talked about it yesterday, saying it's actually cool to be hitting behind him. I think it motivates me, he said. He said, we all know the type of hitter he is, so I feel like I have to double prepare to protect him out there. But it is something that is motivating to him and where he is in the lineup now, TK.
Yeah, I like that. Because he's going to see a lot of people pitch around Yordan ahead of him. So use that as motivation.
Yeah, there's motivation, a lot of responsibility hitting behind some of the best hitters in baseball.
So in this first 4-game series of the year, we have seen Isaac start all 4 games, and that was the big fear for everybody this offseason. Now, obviously, some of it was due to the injury to Jeremy Pena, but the big fear was how do you get all these guys in the lineup? And here's Isaac playing the first 4 games, 2 at third, 1 at DH, and today at second base.
Yeah, a lot of that due to the fact that they're easing Jeremy Pena back into the situation after breaking that finger on his right hand. So it's going to be interesting when they feel Jeremy's ready to play every day, how that kind of unfolds or how you mix him in.
Jeremy has not played back-to-back days in spring training or in the regular season yet. He played every other day for 8 days in spring training, and then so far he's played every other day, games 2 and 4 of the regular season. We'll see if he's ready to go on a regular basis against the Red Sox, or how they play that against Boston, who comes to town beginning tomorrow. Lance McCullers Jr. will get his first start of the season against the Red Sox tomorrow. Isak down to the count 1-2. Paredes reached on an error his last time up and made the game 4-0 with that error by Moncada. 2-2 the count.
Got to give some credit to Kohanowitz, lasting this long in the game, surviving that second inning where the Astros put up a 4 spot.
That pitched just 7 pitches needed to get through the 3rd inning after throwing 45 the previous inning to that.
How about that? That will help. This pitch count at 87. Nobody up in the Angels bullpen right now.
They've made a roster move after last night's game. This ball hit past the diving Yoan Moncada all the way down the line and left, and trying to dig it out is low, but he runs into the wall, so that means Isak can trot into second base with a double, his second double of the year, and a leadoff runner for the Astros in the 5th.
That was a nice start to this inning, and it would probably get that Angels bullpen moving a little bit as he took this changeup up and in and pulled it down that line just out of the reach of Yoan Moncada. Once it gets past Yoan, that was an easy double for Isak.
Angels selected Sean Anderson to their roster out of the bullpen today, right-hander, and Walbert Urania, who pitched yesterday, was optioned to AAA Salt Lake City. So Jose Altuve will bat here. Altuve has struck out and walked in this game. Jose has had runner in scoring position all 3 at bats today. He's got a 2-0 count here. Fifth inning is when it started for the Astros yesterday, when they scored 3 in the 5th and added 8 in inning 6. Today they scored 4 in the 2nd, but the Angels coming back with 6 unanswered, and now the Astros trying to rally again. There's a strike, 2-2.
A lot of off-speed Altuve in this start for Kohanowitz.
That one's wide, 3-2. Correa on deck. We mentioned only one Astro starter has gotten past 5 innings in this series, and that was Mike Burrows in game 2. Only one Angel starter has pitched 5 full innings in this series, and that was Jose Soriano on opening day, who pitched 6. And Kohanowitz misses ball 4, first and second, tying runs aboard here with nobody out in the 5th. That is walk number 5 allowed by Kohanowitz. And that could be the end of his day. Here comes Kurt Suzuki, first-year manager of the Angels, first ever Hawaiian-born manager in the major leagues. Chase Silseth, who has pitched twice in this series, has been warming, and they're going to go to the right-hander here. So Kohanowitz leaves here with nobody out in the 5th. And
back to another stream.
Lay it out for me.
H&R Block, for life outside the box.
Astros fans can now stream games directly at SCHN Plus. Purchase now at SCHNplus.com for $19.99 a month or $199.99 per year plus tax. If you already have Space City Home Network through a cable, satellite, or streaming provider, you'll be able to access the new app at no additional cost.
Nice work, my friend. The Astros putting in nice work, knocking the starter for the Angels, Kohanowitz, out of this game. First man out of the bullpen is going to be Chase Silseth. Last season, pitched in 10 games, had a 1.64 ERA. Had one of those innings against the Astros. Didn't give up anything in that line. In total, has 9 1/3 innings pitched against the Astros. Big moment here.
Carlos Correa with 2 on and nobody out. Correa lined out against Silseth in the game on Friday. As he faces him for a second time in this series, Kohanowitz going 4 innings plus 2 batters, leaving 2 runners on with nobody out in the inning. Allowing his 5th walk to Jose Altuve, who was walked twice today. Now a 1-1 count.
Got to imagine walks are going to be up across the league with the ABS system installed. Not going to get the benefit of some of those missed calls off the outside corners. Those are going to be corrected.
Foul out of play. 1-2. So far in this series, Suzuki has brought Silseth in to face Yordan Alvarez on opening day. He retired Yordan. And then he had Chase face 2 batters on Friday, including Carlos Correa and also Cam Smith, and he retired both of those hitters. So he's pitched a total of 1 inning in his 2 outings this series. Upstairs, 2-2. 5th major league season with the Angels for Chase Silseth. Line drive caught by Moncada. Base runners did a nice job getting back to their bases. That was hit hard. Carlos hit some tough luck at times this year.
He has. He's done a good job of getting the barrel to the baseball. Just the GPS is a little off this early in the season.
Well, now Joey Loperfido off to a good start this year. He's had a good spring and carried that forward to the regular season games in March. 4 for 9 with a double today and a run scored. 4 for 9 on the season. So he goes after the first pitch and misses 0-1. Foul tip caught by Darno. Perfido had 18 opportunities last year with the Blue Jays with a runner in scoring position and had 7 hits in those 18 at-bats. This year, as an Astro, Loperfido has had just 1 at-bat prior to this one with a runner in scoring position. He's 0 for 1. And he's down on 3 pitches here. That splitter getting him for the second out. Silseth picks up his first strikeout.
Good look at that splitter, but coming in right at that bottom part of the zone. Tough to lay off for Joey.
So now Christian Walker bats. Walker has walked and scored a run and also flied out to right. Hits this ball to right. Back goes Soler near the wall. Reaching up. It's over his head. In to score comes Paredes. Altuve being waved around. Throw gets loose on the infield. We're tied at 6. Christian Walker with a 2 RBI double.
Big swing from Seawalk, and 2-out Lightning again for the Astros, picking up 2 more runs. Tie this thing up. He's got good juice going the other way, but he picked on a very good pitch, center cut fastball, and hammers it over the head. Kind of surprising considering how well Soler played earlier. And when he threw that ball into second base, well, Tuve scores all the way from first easily.
So the Astros tie it up at 6 apiece here in the 5th. And again, as we mentioned earlier in this game, small sample size, but starting to really like the at-bats we've seen out of Christian Walker.
Absolutely. He's aggressive. He's getting the mistake fastballs out over the plate, but he's not missing them.
Walker driving in his 2nd and 3rd runs of the season. As Cam Smith has a chance to give the Astros the lead. Walker now 4 for 12 on the season with those 3 RBIs. Cam down in the count 1-2.
Veteran at bat too by Christian, sitting on deck, seeing the splits working effectively for Silseth, said, I'm going to sit fastball early, and if I get it, I'm going to attack it. Worked out well.
The 7 spot's a little foreign for Christian Walker. Did hit there a few times last year, but he's going to try and put pressure on Joe Espada to move him up in the lineup if he keeps swinging the bat like he has in this first series.
Yeah, but he's also proven that he's going to get his RBI opportunities hitting in that 6-7 spot too.
We talked about the length of this lineup.
Yeah.
When you can play. This ball sent in the air to right. Soler has time to get under it. Cam got under it with the bat, and he flies to right for the final out. But a big 2-out swing by Christian Walker has tied the game at 6 apiece.
When we
Power Play is presented by HEB. Let's take you back to opening day 2018. 1 year after George Springer hit a home run in 2017's opening day, he hits another one on opening day of 2018 at Globe Life Park against the Rangers. It was part of a 4-1 victory with Justin Verlander doing the job on the mound for the Astros. For Springer, his 100th career home run and back-to-back opening days with a homer.
Pretty impressive and good times here. We're going to give way to Stephen Okert. Had a great season last year for the Astros. Pitching in 68 games, had a 3.01 ERA, but that whip was under 1 the entire time.
It was an unusual spring for Stephen Okert in that he did not look like the Okert we saw in 2025, but he came out in this first outing that counted in 2026 and pitched very well, retiring all 5 batters he faced Friday night. As he faced Yoan Moncada down through the bottom of the order for the Angels, now facing the 9-hitter Adam Frazier with a 1-1 count. So Okert takes over here in the 6th inning, and after pitching an inning and 2/3 on Friday, the Astros will have their bullpen going as Okert begins this outing, so it may not be as lengthy of an outing for Stephen. Maybe they will try and get him through Nolan Shonowell in this lineup, and beyond that, it's A.J. Blueball beginning to warm up. By the way, you can see in the background, that's the Astros' new pitching coach. Assistant pitching coach Ethan Katz, who was the main pitching coach for the White Sox for a number of years, and now brings some of that expertise over to the Houston Astros.
Now we've got a bunch of new additions. Bullpen seeing Ethan Katz.
I was surprised he was
Tim Cousins out there
available. He was a guy that was on the
Yeah.
market as a highly touted pitching coach, but he comes here to Houston, works with Josh Miller. Tim Cousins now the catching coach, and the two new hitting coaches, Victor Rodriguez and Anthony Iapoce. All guys that have come over in the offseason from various organizations.
Yep.
And this one's popped up for Christian Walker, who will drift towards the stands and have plenty of room for the first out. So we'll get to know these guys during the course of the year, but we've met them all in spring training.
I'll get to know them on the airplane.
That's what I was thinking, right?
That's when you really start to mingle and kind of nail these guys down, because they can't go into the bullpen. They can't hide in the back room. You can lock them down on the airplane. We've had a chance to catch up with Victor Rodriguez quite a bit. I've had a chance to talk to him. I like him. A little bit of old school mixed in with the analytics for him. He's got some good guys working under him. But going from the two hitting coaches to the one hitting coach this year for the Astros.
Yeah, it's kind of tiered, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So you have Victor on top.
Good support staff.
You have Anthony Iapoce, and then you have Dan Hennigan, more the analytic guy.
Yeah, Hennigan's going to be locked in a room behind a computer, providing some scouting reports and approach, game plans for some of these Astro hitters.
But the fact that you have tiers, and again, the system was what it was the last few years, but you basically had co-hitting coaches who were on an equal level. But now that you have tiers, there's more of a specific assignment for each person. 1-1 pitch to Neto is fouled back.
It's always easier when, as a hitter, you can just blame one guy instead of going, which hitting coach? I don't know. Hitting coach is the toughest job in baseball, man. Because they deal with 13 different attitudes and mood swings, and
they never get credit when
when it's going right, it's me, Todd. When it's going bad, it's you. and the work ethic you have to be a hitting coach these days. You're in that cage at what feels like dawn.
The physical toll is one thing, and then you play psychologist on top of that.
Yeah.
Because each hitter's got their own personality, obviously, and you have to know how to deal with different guys different ways. And I think kind of the hands-off approach early is how Victor's approaching things.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of veterans here that have a certain way they like to do things. So he likes to observe that early.
Well, and to your point, the veterans, if you come in and just all of a sudden overwhelm them with either information or swing ideas or a philosophy, you can kind of stunt the growth of the relationship. Whereas Victor's kind of saying, I'm here. I've got street cred. I've worked with some really good hitters. I understand the game, and I've been watching your swing for a while. But when you get in trouble, I'll be right here. Come see me. Or if you have a question, come see me.
There's Tim Cousins, the catching coach, with the iPad. The one thing I did hear, 1-2 pitch, did he go around? No. The one thing I did hear, though, from both Victor Rodriguez and Iapoce is Jordan is going to make me look really good this year.
Yeah, if you're gonna butter somebody up, Jordan's the guy. Get real nice with him.
This is one thing when he's on the opposing side, but when he's on your side and your part of your success is determined by the big man, you're in good shape. Well, guess what? It's a 3-2 count on Zach Neto. Stop me if you heard that before. He's been dealing with deep counts every at bat. He has a walk, and a homer today, and now another full count. And he walks for the third time. Astros have not been able to throw quality pitches to Neto today.
It's time for Astros Trivia, powered by Reliant. What is the question today? Tetsuya Imai is the fourth Japanese-born player to play for the Astros. Can you name the other three? Good question. That's Astros Trivia, powered by Reliant. You know one of the four. Who are the other three?
Ground ball towards third. Correa picks it on one hop. Goes to second for one. Paredes turned. Oh, they got Trout on the double play around the horn. Nicely done by the Astros infield.
Not easy to do with a guy that can run like Mike Trout. But around the horn, and Isak Paredes getting an opportunity to turn that double play. Gets a great feed from Carlos. And the double play gets him out of the inning.
Oh, man, this does.
How about the bottom of the sixth, and the Angels and Astros tied up at 6 here in the final game of this 4-game set. There you see new pitcher into this game. Sam Bachman had 23 games last season with a 6.20 ERA. This will be his 5th appearance against the Astros.
First batter he faces is the 9-hitter Christian Vasquez, who singled in a couple of runs his first time up and also grounded out. Vasquez playing his first game in his second tour with the Astros. He's been with Minnesota the last 3 years, so teammate of Carlos Correa's. 1-1 the count. Vasquez getting the task of handling Tatsuya Imai in his first major league start. Imai pitched 2 2/3 innings today and allowed 3 hits, 4 walks, and 4 runs. Now Vasquez with a 3-1 count to start the inning, facing Bachman. That'll be up, ball 4. Vasquez draws a walk to start the 6th inning. Julia.
Get out and play is driven by Toyota. Jeremy Pena back in there after a scheduled off day yesterday. He's expected to provide the spark at the top of the lineup. Was extremely productive up there in 2025. So how does he follow it up? He said before the season he doesn't set goals based on numbers because he'd get all caught up in that. He sets goals around his prep, homework, taking care of his body, so he can just play the game hard, and the results should be where they end up.
Started out the season without much of a spring training at all, with a 2-for-5 game on Friday night with a stolen base and a run scored. Today he's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, but you can see his ranks as a leadoff hitter last year. He had quite a season. Jeremy bats here with go-ahead runner on first base and nobody out. A little looper into shallow center. The infielders converge, and it stays in the top of the webbing for Adam Frazier as he ran into his shortstop mate, Zach Neto.
It was interesting. Usually his shortstop takes over, and Frazier ranging over to that shortstop side, able to reach up and grab it. Would have been interesting because nobody was covering second base until Bachman figured it out. A snow cone.
So here's Yordan Alvarez. Alvarez has singled home a run and also drawn a walk. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Brendan Miller discussing with Jordan about how the pitcher has to at least let him get set before he's ready to go. Pitch way up to Jordan, 1-0. Early on, Jordan carrying a nice little 1086 OPS around right now. Last year was a career low 797 in an injury-plagued season. His career mark is 961. So you would be surprised to ever see Jordan below 800 again, because that was just one of those years where even when he did play, he wasn't quite 100% himself.
Only 3 points away from an 800 OPS. Pretty impressive.
And it was a terrible year for him by his standards.
This guy stinks.
2-1 the count.
Going to wash that year away. It's just a matter of him being healthy, because if you remember, he had that hand injury. He was trying to fight through and play through, and just basically became a professional hitter instead of a power hitter.
Both Jordan and Mike Trout ended at 797, which for most hitters is solid. But
and they weren't even talked about.
For them, it's career lows. For Trout, it was his worst season, not counting his 40-game season, his first year in 2011. 797 was by far his worst year of OPS. And now Jordan draws another walk. The Angels continue to be very careful with Jordan Alvarez. 2 more walks today. And now first and second with 1 out. Here comes Mike Maddox to talk with Sam Bachman. Now a word from Nava Law Group.
Injured in an accident? Hurt on the job? Insurance companies want you to settle, and settle fast. Do not settle.com.
Well, Julia mentioned how Isaac Paredes knows it's an opportunity when he hits behind Jordan Alvarez. You're going to have your share of runners on base, especially the way the Angels have been pitching around Jordan. And Paredes has come through with a 2 RBI double off the top of the scoreboard yesterday. And today he is 1 for 2. Excuse me, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored.
He is going to get his opportunities hidden behind Jordan Alvarez, that is for sure.
Sock facing Sam Bachman here with Christian Vasquez on second. Jordan Alvarez on first. Pitch catches the inside edge, 0-1. And Isak, who's never afraid to hit with 2 strikes, finds himself down 0-2. And he goes down on 3 pitches here. Isaac Paredes strikes out. Sam Bachman makes quick work of Paredes, and now it's up to Jose Altuve.
Good sliders from Bachman. Isak way out in front and over the top. Didn't look like he picked that ball up too well out of the hand of Bachman.
Altuve, who faced Bachman in the game on Friday. Bachman was able to strike him out. This is in with ball 1. Jose has drawn a couple of walks today. Now has 5 walks in the first 4 games. Takes a strike, 1-1. Angels pitching allowing 7 walks today. 5 from the starter Kohanowitz, and now 2 this inning from Sam Bachman. Altuve sends one to left, coming on low, diving catch by Josh Lowe to save the go-ahead run from scoring. Nice play by the Angels left fielder. The game stays tied at 6.
They've gotten some big plays when they've needed them. Soler with one, and now you've got Josh Lowe with a big catch to keep runs off the board.
Your home look.
The best in Texas power pitcher is driven by Ford. A.J. Blueball picked up on opening day where he left off. You're looking at his numbers from last season, very impressive. He said he just got back to work when spring started, knowing he had an opportunity to break with the club, had a very strong spring. And then on opening day, we saw him this year have a great outing, 2 1/3, just allowing the one solo home run. But he threw hard, too. Came out firing 98.9 mile per hour to strike out Moncada, hardest pitch of his career. Also, that first opening day roster meaning a lot for him. And Joe calls on him again here in the 7th, guys.
Yeah, he's kind of turning into that Will Harris out of that bullpen where he doesn't say no when the phone rings and they say get hot. Loves taking the baseball when asked.
He's got the 7th inning today in a 6-6 game. He is pitcher number 5 for the Astros. He's got the me to the Angels order due up. Nolan Shanoel, Jorge Soler, and Yoan Moncada. That one grounded foul. That's the Angels' third base coach, Keith Johnson. It's 0-2. Shanoel has walked twice and then hit a bullet up the middle, caught by Jeremy Pena. Astros led 6-4. Angels came back with 6 runs, and the Astros tying it in the bottom of the 5th. So it's up to the bullpens now. 6-6 in the 7th. Nice job once again by Steven Okert, who's off to a good start this year as he faced the minimum with the help of a double play. This is going to be Correa charging, and with Shanoel running, Carlos able to throw him out by a couple of steps for the first out. Carlos at third base, but was playing closer to the shortstop position in the shift. So 1 out, nobody on. Here's Jorge Soler. First pitch, a strike, 0-1. Slayer with a 3 RBI double, cleared the bases with a double with 1 out in the 3rd. Got the Angels right back in the game when they trailed 4-0 at the time. He is 1 for 3 today. Missing wide, 1-2. Blue Ball faced 9 hitters in his first outing of the season on Thursday and had a string of 22 and a third scoreless innings going back to last season snapped when Mike Trout hit a home run against them with 1 out in the 7th, only run allowed by Blue Ball in that outing. Now stays 2-2 on Soler. So he will pitch the 7th, and Joe will see where they are score-wise. Could very well pitch multiple innings today.
I think both these ball clubs would love not to finish off this 4-game set with extra innings.
It's funny how quickly it can creep up on you, where all of a sudden you're 4 games in and you had to use your bullpen extensively. But that's what happens when both teams have only had one starter go as many as 5 innings.
Yep.
Jorge Soler strikes out. Blue Ball picking up his first strikeout, 2 outs in the inning.
Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Astros, the official source for your Houston Astros gear.
Yoan Moncada bats. Moncada 0 for 2 with a walk, goes after that first pitch changeup and misses 0-1. Ball hit to right, playable for Cam Smith. Backs up a few steps, and another 1-2-3 inning for A.J. Blue Ball. Nice work out of the pen by the Astros right-hander. 6-6 game, 7th inning stretch time here at Daikin Park in Houston. And as we do here and throughout Major League Baseball, we will pause to honor America here at the 7th inning stretch.
Ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps as we pause, not only to honor our great nation, but to salute those who protect our freedom each and every day. Please join Miss Amanda Kate Ferris for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, our home sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Amanda Kate Ferris.
Your budget's set, but don't you fret, 'cause they
continues our live game coverage of the Houston Astros tomorrow night as they take on the Boston Red Sox. Tune in at 6:30 for Astros pregame presented by Toyota. SCHN is your home for Astros baseball.
Carlos Correa will lead things off in the 7th inning. Sam Bachman still out there for the Angels. He walked 2 in his first inning of work, but worked around that, including a strikeout and a nice play by Josh Lowe in left field to end the inning. Correa, then Joey Loperfido and Christian Walker here in the 7th. Astros looking for a split of this 4-game series against the Angels. Angels winning opening day 3-0, and then Friday night 6-2. Astros coming back with a 11-9 win last night, down by 6 runs, matching their biggest comeback of last season. And today, after leading 4-0, the Angels scored 6 straight before the Astros tied it back up at 6. Correa starts the at-bat with a 3-1 count.
If you're going to pick one to try and drive out of the park, this might be it for Carlos. See if Bachman makes a mistake out of the plate. With a slider.
Carlos is lined out a couple of times today and is 0 for 3. He's lined to center and lined to third. And also grounded out to short. Correa hit the ball when he grounded out to short 106 miles an hour. So he's hitting some tough luck today. Ground ball played by Moncada to his left. Low throw picked by Shanoel. And there's one away in the inning. By the way, Boston's going to come into town with a 1-2 record as they lost today to the Reds and dropped 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati for their first series of the season. Astros will face Ranger Suarez in his Red Sox debut tomorrow as Lance McCullers will make his first start of the season for the Astros. Here's Joey Loperfido. Loperfido doubled his first at bat. He's 1 for 3.
That was a hustle double for Joey. Basically just a line drive up the middle that he took advantage of Joe Adell not getting to that ball quickly enough. Bachman's looking good in his outing.
Miami University of Ohio product has pitched well in this outing. Did have a little bit of issue with a couple of walks last inning, but worked around it. Bachman walked 2 in his 1 inning of work on Friday as well, but also had a scoreless inning that day as he struck out 3. Loperfido down on strikes for the 2nd straight at bat. Bachman picks up his 2nd strikeout.
Time to answer our trivia question powered by Reliant. We told you about Tatsuya Imai being the 4th Japanese-born player to play for the Astros. Could you name the other 3? And we'll name them with you. Kaz Matsui, Nori Aoki, and Yusei Kikuchi, who's now with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And how about Kaz Matsui managing Tatsuya Imai in the Japanese Professional Baseball League?
Yeah, he was the manager of the Cebu Lions in 23 and 24 when Imai was there, so that's pretty cool.
Kind of crazy to connect those dots.
You played with Kaz.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep. Played with Kazuo Matsui.
Kaz
Matsui. Yeah, he was a good teammate. He was fun.
And we saw Yusei here on Friday pitch against his former team. Big addition to the Astros coming over from Toronto in 2024. And then Nori Aoki, who will ever forget the
Teddy Baseball.
Yeah, the golden jacket of, is it Mekukai, the Golden Jacket Club, when you get to 2,000 hits between Japanese baseball and the major league?
Green jacket, gold jacket,
black jacket. We were told a few different colors. Hey, get down. No. Zach Neto ruins what would have been a nice hit for Walker. He was almost on base for the third time. Broke his bat, and Neto made a nice play on him to end the inning.
Cologuard Plus?
Yep.
Colon cancer screening.
Chevy stroke poll. Yordan Alvarez already a winner in an earlier stroke poll this season, and he now has his second win on the stroke poll season. A healthy Yordan is the key to success in 2026, says 2/3 of the voters today. Cam and Bryce with a breakout season, finishing second thanks to those who voted. We'll have another stroke poll for you in tomorrow's broadcast. Here's Joe Adell. Adell going after the first pitch from A.J. Blue Ball. It's 0-1. Adell has an RBI single and then followed it up with another single his last time up. He's 2 for 3 today. And he's 5 for 15 to start the season, hitting .333. Now 26 years old, really came on last year when he hit 37 home runs, good for 4th in the American League. This one slicing, long run for Cam Smith near the stands, and Cam makes a nice catch, and he kind of scoots on the railing there. That's another good play by Cam as he was nearing the crowd.
He's doing a good job of navigating his home ballpark here at Daikin, showing great range also. Able to reach out there at the last minute and snatch that one for the out. Good play. Avoid the stands. Ball boy down there. A golf clap from Blue Ball.
Long way to go for Cam. Not quite as whoa. Not quite as far as Cam had to go yesterday for that.
Watch out orbit.
That was airmailed by Blue Ball. Josh Lowe has struck out 3 times today. What happened to our RoboCam on that first pitch?
One hit wonder, knocked it out.
Did AJ throw it directly into the camera?
He did.
Come on, AJ.
Man down.
1-2 the count. Oh no. Mid-robo in trouble.
Yeah, Wally is down.
Tough day for Lowe. He's down on strikes for the 4th time. Second strikeout for Blue Ball. Second out of the inning. Calling all Houston area bars and restaurants, join the Astros Social Club to receive Astros branded swag to share with your patrons and become a proud partner. Watch spot. Learn more at astros.com/social club. Pinch hitter is going to be Jeimer Candelario, getting his first at bat, making the Angels opening day roster and getting his first chance to bat here in this series and taking one for a ball. It's 1-0. Candelario signed with the Angels as a free agent a couple of weeks before spring training started. Signed a minor league deal and had to be placed on the 40-man roster after making the team in spring training. First year with the Angels, his 11th in the big leagues. It's a 1-1 count. That one popped up shallow right. Cam Smith drifts in a few steps. How about 6 up and 6 down for A.J. Blueball? The calm presence of the big right-hander has kept this game tied heading to the bottom of the 8th.
Yourself and
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Cam Smith, young rising star in the major leagues. And how about players aged 24 or younger that have a 74+ mile-per-hour bat speed and can get down to first base in 4.4 seconds or better? That means you're mixing some power and speed together. And Cam at 23 years old behind Ellie De La Cruz, Gunnar Henderson, and James Wood. But you can see Cam at 29.3 feet per second sprint speed is best among that group. We've seen that on defense. I'd like to start seeing it on the base paths. Facing a new pitcher in Drew Pomeranz, veteran left-hander, coming in this tie ball game. Between the bullpen and a couple of starts with the Cubs last season, had a great ERA at 2.17.
Pomeranz pitched the 8th inning of the Angels' 3-0 shutout opening day. As he hits Cam Smith here to start the inning on an 0-1 pitch. So Cam will be the leadoff base runner here in the 8th inning in a 6-6 game.
We'll take it, put that speed on the base paths with a hit by pitch. Got somewhere on the lower body.
They're going to challenge this. This is going to be a video review challenge as Kurt Suzuki doesn't feel like Cam was hit by that pitch.
On the field, a hit by pitch. Los Angeles is challenging.
So we'll see if there's clear and convincing evidence to overturn a hit by pitch. It bounced before it hit Cam's foot. And it's whether it hit the shoe after it bounced that they're going to be looking at in New York. By the way, when you were talking about Cam's speed on defense, he had to go 140 feet for that catch last night.
And he went over 100 for this one here today.
Did he?
Yeah, it was at 104, 105.
They have not yet shown the review here on the El Grande, so fans haven't had a chance to see it. They are looking at it in New York.
That's where they're taking a peek.
It's going to be a tough one to overturn.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You got to find something to overturn, right?
You have to see a clear visual look that it definitively hopped over his foot and didn't graze the top of his foot. Here's the call.
Review ball in the field stands. It is a hit by pitch. Batters awarded first base. Los Angeles loses their count.
That's going to be a tough one unless you have one of those worm cams right at home plate.
Oh, yeah, get the worm cam. Need that. Add that to the repertoire. Until then, Cam's going to stay at first.
Yeah, whatever was called was going to stay. If it was
For
not
sure.
hit by pitch, it was going to stay a not hit by pitch. It was called a hit by pitch, and that's what stands. And now Christian Vasquez will bat.
Well, here's where you get a chance to maybe see Cam's speed if he can steal himself into scoring position. You got Yohan Moncada, third baseman, in tight with a potential bunt from Christian Vasquez.
He does show bunt, gets it down to the pitcher Pomerantz, who will go to first. Successful sacrifice by Christian Vasquez, and now the Astros have the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Good job by Vasquez moving that runner into scoring position for the top of the lineup. Try and push across that winning run.
Not an easy pitch to bunt.
I was thinking the same thing. He did such a good job of getting above the baseball to make sure that ball was down. And as soon as you see that ball on a downward trajectory as a runner, you can take off. Good play.
So now Jeremy Pena looking for his first hit in his second game of the season. Takes a pitch for a strike, 0-1. Jeremy 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts today as Brian Abreu begins to warm up in the Astros pen in this 6-6 game in the 8th. Well off the plate, 1-1. Pena led all major leaguers in batting average in his home stadium last year at .351. Looking for a big hit here in the bottom of the 8th to give the Astros the lead once again. In the air, pop to center field. Joe Adell is camping under it. Cam Smith's going to tag. The throw from Adell is going to be not in time. Cam gets to third with 2 outs.
There's where that speed comes into play. He's able to tag up on a modest fly ball, but he's also probably has a scouting report of Joe Adell in that arm. Does a good job of timing that up nicely.
Jordan will not get to hit here. He'll be walked for the 3rd time in this game, and also the 3rd time he's intentionally walked in this series. As Kurt Suzuki will continue to take his chances, even lefty on righty here with Pomerantz against Paredes. We've talked about we're waiting for the time when a manager does not go to a lefty out of the pen to face Jordan because he crushes lefties. Well, now Suzuki said, I'd rather my lefty face a righty than face Jordan Alvarez.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how that unfolds. It doesn't matter who's on the mound for Jordan. He is going to put together an at-bat and possibly do some severe damage, but they're opting early on here this season, the Angels are, to try and see if Isak can do the damage.
Isak is 1 for 4 today with a double and a run scored. Also had a ground ball that resulted in a run on an error by Yohan Moncada. Isak actually had reverse splits last year where he hit better against righties than he did against lefties. Only a 200 average against lefties last season and 264 against righties. That one bouncing in there, smothered by the new catcher Logan O'Hoppe, who was taken over after Travis d'Arnaud was pinch hit for the last inning.
Curveball down. Kind of spiked it. Did a good job by O'Hoppe just to chest that up and keep it in front.
Cam Smith at third, Jordan at first with 2 outs. That was popped out of play, 2-2. Isak has hit the Angels well in his career. 1,022 OPS against the Angels. Trying to find a base hit here to give the Astros a lead and go to Abreu for a save in the ninth. That one missing, and Jordan is going to take second base as he was off with a pitch. It's 3-2. Ooh. Oof. Into center field, coming on Adele, diving attempt. It's down and past him. Two-run score. Isak Paredes comes through after the intentional walk. It's 8-6.
Big swing from Isak. The Astros with 2 out, Lightning picking up 2 runs. Great job staying on that pitch on the outside corner. Just a fastball, lazy fastball on the outside corner, just poked to center, and Joe Adele trying to make something happen. Lays out, and when he lays out, Jordan scores easily the go-ahead run.
When we talk baseball in the offseason, a lot of times we're talking other subjects, but when we talk baseball in the offseason, we both said we hope we don't see Isak traded.
Yes.
He's such a big part of this lineup. And here he is, with all those rumors floating around, picking up one of the bigger hits in the early part of the season for the Astros.
Now, he's very important to this lineup. He creates so much depth. He's such a good hitter. Yeah, I'm with you, and those conversations were true.
Isak lifted for a pinch runner. Nick Allen will undoubtedly stay in the game at second base as Paredes breaks the tie here in the 8th. And Jose Altuve bats for a 5th time. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. And Altuve sends one into left center field. That'll be down for a hit. Allen will score easily. Altuve to second with an RBI double. It's now 9-6 Astros.
Atta baby 2. Trading places with Nick Allen. He got a center cut fastball, 93, and just barreled it up. Easy swing decision for Jose.
AJ Blueball, closest player to the camera, would be in line for a win as he pitched 2 perfect innings. Another intentional walk. This time Carlos Correa will draw the intentional walk, as this time Suzuki will go lefty on lefty with Joey Loperfido. So Espada does have some righty options on his bench, but he's going to let Joey bat here with a 3-run lead in the bottom half of the 8th. So Loperfido hits with 2 runners on and 2 outs. And the first one misses 1-0. So we've learned a little bit about Kurt Suzuki's managerial style. He's not afraid of the intentional walk.
He's not afraid of the intentional walk, and he likes matchups. So it's going left on left, right on right.
This one popped up by Loperfido. Moncada near his own dugout will have room to put it away for the final out of the inning. But the Astros send 8 men to the plate, and Isak Paredes has the big swing. Altuve added a run as well. It's 9-6 Astros. Houston Astros baseball on SCHN is presented by Houston Methodist, the official healthcare provider of the Houston Astros. Houston Methodist, leading medicine. By Hectra, providing the Houston region with mobility solutions. Get your easy tag and keep it moving at hectra.org. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
There he is, Brian Abreu, first save opportunity this season, getting a chance here with the Astros picking up 3 in the bottom of the 8th. They go through the 9-1-2 in this order. There you see the numbers from last season, 105 strikeouts and 71 innings. Rough outing last night. Would like to correct that and have a good outing today with pick up that first save.
Yeah, it was a weird outing for Abreu last night. He picked up 2 quick strikeouts of the 8-9 hitters, and then he walked Zach Neto and Mike Trout. Astros led at 5 when he came into the game, led by 5 when he came into the game, and then he allowed a 2-out, 3-run home run on a 3-2 pitch to Nolan Shonwell that all of a sudden made the game close, but he got Jorge Soler to end the game with a strikeout. So he struck out 3, walked 2, gave up that home run. So his ERA taking a hit early in the season with that 3-run home run. Here are the defensive changes for the Astros. Nick Allen, who pinch ran for Isaac Paredes, stays in the game at second. Jake Myers has taken over in center, and Joey Loperfido moves from center to left. So Yordan Alvarez out of the game. And a 2-1 count to Adam Frazier. Off the plate, 3-1. Astros trying to split this 4-game series with the Angels, scoring 11 runs last night and 9 more runs today. And there is a walk from Abreu. That's his 3rd walk allowed in an inning plus 1 batter this season. That is not what you want to do heading to the top of the order.
Our next telecast is presented by Kaplan Sinus Relief. It'll be Monday against the Red Sox, which will be tomorrow. Will be a first opportunity to see Lance McCullers Jr. on the bump, going against Ranger Suarez of the Boston Red Sox. Newly signed Ranger Suarez.
That one gets away from Vasquez, so a walk followed by a wild pitch. And Abreu had to throw 26 pitches in last night's game. Struggling with his command early in this one.
Yeah, quick turnaround after that night game last night, throwing those 26 pitches for Brian.
Neto has walked 3 times today and also hit a home run. A 2-run home run that gave the Angels a 6-4 lead at the time in the 4th inning. There is a strike. Vasquez has been busy in his first game as a starter this season. That ball hit high in the air, deep to left field. Loperfido back near the wall, has room in front of the out-of-town scoreboard and puts it away for the first out. Any fly ball to left is always scary here, with that one a little shy of the Crawford boxes. Now Abreu will go after Mike Trout, who is 1 for 4 today. Trout with 6 hits in this series and 13 at bats. First pitch strike, 0-1.
The batter is challenging the strike call.
Trout challenged a call in the 1st inning and lost. He's challenging this one in the 9th inning.
Ball's overturned as the ball. Los Angeles has 1 challenge remaining.
And they have kept their remaining challenge on that one overturned.
I think that's going to be the toughest spot for a lot of umpires. Like you said, the width they should have nailed down a little bit. but that adjusting the height of the zones is going to be the issue. And it's not as high as you think it's going to be. It's usually right around that, around your navel is where the top of the zone seems to be for a lot of these guys.
Astros will get the lefty Brian King loose as Abreu has struggled for the second straight day with control. He has missed,
not a good ratio.
Missed on 8 of 11, now 9 of 12. After yesterday missing on 14 of 26 pitches, and Christian Vasquez going out to chat with his closer. The guy who hit a 3-run home run against Abreu last night is on deck in Nolan Shonowell. So 3-0 on Trout, with the overturn starting the count with a 1-0 count instead of 0-1. There's a strike. Mentioned that Christian Walker scored his 500th career run last night. Mike Trout scored his 1200th career run in last night's game. That's a top of the zone strike, and Trout's going to challenge for the second time. Trout got the first pitch correct, and he's going to win another one.
Ball 4. Los Angeles has 1 challenge remaining.
So Trout's right twice in his challenges in the same plate appearance. That'll bring the tying run to the plate with 2 walks in the inning from Abreu. And this is Nolan Shonowell, who hit a 3-run home run against Bryan last night. And here comes Joe Espada with Brian King warming up, and Brian Abreu struggling with the zone. Is Joe going to go lefty on lefty here? He does take his closer out here with 1 out in the 9th after a couple of walks. So Abreu will leave the game. It'll be King to face Shonowell in a 3-run game when we come back.
Thought they were cool.
Back here at Dyken Park, Brian Abreu out of this ball game, and into this game is going to be Brian King. Last season made 68 appearances. Here in this 4-game series, this will be his 3rd appearance. Saw him in the game yesterday, going inning, had a couple of strikeouts, walked a batter, but here to try and close things out. But it's going to be a tough spot. 1 out, a couple of runners on.
Nolan Shonowell, the batter. He's walked twice, he's lined out, and he's grounded out. And the first pitch from King, a called strike, 0-1. King has faced Shonowell 5 times in his career. Nolan is 1 for 5 with an RBI and also a strikeout. Missing wide, 1-1. Astros walking 8 today. They walked 8 in last night's game. They have walked at least 6 in every game this season. Strike of the knees, 1-2. Last night, King walked the leadoff batter he faced, Jorge Soler, who's on deck. That's unusual for King because last year he led relievers in fewest walks per 9 at 1.45. But he has walked Soler both times he has faced him in his career. 1-2 ahead of Showdown here with 1 out. On the ground, off the glove of Walker. That's going to get into the outfield and allow a run to score. In comes Adam Frazier to make it a 2-run game. Showdown reaches as the tying run on a base hit off the glove of Christian Walker.
Tough break there. It looked like Nick Allen was behind Christian Walker, but at the same time, Christian Walker, now that might have snuck through. It would have been a tough play for either of them, both players laying out. Christian thought he actually had that in his glove. He popped up looking to make a flip to first. Fully extended, just in and out of the edge of the glove.
Bryce Teodosio taking over as the tying run at first base is a pinch runner for Showdown. Now Jorge Soler, the batter. We mentioned Soler has faced King twice in his career, and both times he has walked. King has thrown him a steady diet of sweepers in their 2 at-bats, as he missed with a first pitch sweeper here. 9, now 10 of his 14 pitches he's thrown Soler have been sweepers. Challenges with a fastball there and gets a foul ball. It's 1-1. 9th inning getting a little dicey here. Astros had a 3-run lead. Their closer Brian Abreu faced 3 batters, walked 2, and he was lifted. And now Brian King facing the right-hand hitting Soler, who fouls one away. It's 1-2. A little looper foul. Count stays 1-2. Both teams with 7 hits, 16 runs in this game on 14 combined hits. Called third strike, big strikeout for King for out number 2.
Good job of setting him up with that previous fastball up and in. Might have thought he was going to go to the off speed after tying him up, but he does a great job painting that fastball up and in, executing beautifully.
Now Yoan Moncada will bat. Switch hitter turning around to hit right-handed. And Moncada takes one just off the plate in ball 1. Moncada in his career has been a better left-hand hitter than right-hand hitter by 70 points in the OPS, 774 to 704. Another reason why Espada may have gone to King in that scenario with Showdown, and then 2 batters later, Moncada. Now Brian 1 strike away. 30,848 will rise here at Dyken Park. King picked up 2 saves last year for the Astros, 1 in Arizona in July and won at home against the Rangers in September, looking for his third major league save. Okada struck out against King in last night's game on a called third strike. Keeps battling here. It stays 1-2.
He's doing a good job of getting to that glove side with both the fastball and the sweeper. That one may be elevated a little bit more than he would have liked. It's something he can bury in the ground and get to. That's the pitch right there. Trying to tie him up and just get a ground ball to Carlos over there at third base and end this thing.
Good battle between these two. King looking for one final strike. Just off the plate and a challenge. We could have a walk-off overturn. Astros haven't won a challenge the entire year. Will they get their first to win this game?
I don't mind the challenge.
Houston has one challenge remaining.
0 for 6 on the season in challenges, but I don't mind it either. That's looking for a W.
Exactly.
So by 1.7 inches, the Angels continue this game with a 2-2 count. Called third. That one's right there. Astros split the series with a 9-7 win. Brian King's third major league save in his first on the season.
Good job by King coming in there. Kind of an unfortunate circumstance having to come in for Brian Abreu, having a tough outing the last couple of nights. But the Astros offense doing a heck of a job putting up runs and protecting this starting staff as Brian King went ahead and dared Moncada with another fastball. This one catching all of the plate right down the middle. There it is, save number 1 of 2026, and the emotion shows.
Astros had to throw almost 200 pitches in this game. 193 to be exact, and the 193rd pitch was a called third to end this one. So the Astros salvage a split after losing the first 2 games of the year. Our Astros post-game show will break down this game and the overall series with Kevin Eschenfelder and Brian Bogusevic. The post-game show is presented by Whataburger. Julia will help out with interviews on the field as well as in the clubhouse. Post-game show next.
That new